clear that Radio Biafra is our only source of undiluted information. It's a place where we worship. But in recent days, since Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was abducted, many have abandoned this platform. And that is why some of them have fallen into the hands of the enemy, because Radio Biafra is a hallowed platform. It is where you get knowledge, it is where you get understanding, and where you see the light. Because what you see everywhere now is darkness in that geological republic, because the absence of light is where you see darkness. So those who have abandoned Radio Biafra are wallowing in ignorance, in darkness, and that is why some of them will tell you that they are confused. And that's why some of them will go out of their way to follow somebody who has never been a member of IPOB and who will never be a member of IPOB, and will suffer a hired agent from the zoo called Nigeria to come and disrupt what we are doing, a hired agent who came from the back door to see if he can gain access to the leadership of this struggle, that they may hijack it. But as God may have it, they have failed woefully, and they will continue to fail. We have come to tell Biafrans that Radio Biafra is the light. It is the light unto your feet and the lamp unto your path, according to Psalm 119, for those of you who are Christians. Psalm 119 says that. So if you miss Radio Biafra, you will be wallowing in darkness. This is where we worship. So I want to use this medium to encourage our people. Those who are rushing to Facebook or YouTube to go and get their information, bear in mind that most of the channels where you go, what you hear there are the things that are bringing confusion to your head. Because those guys who are, there, some of them are there to make money, so they have to tell you what you want to hear. And by hearing, you become corrupt, you become confused. Come to Radio Biafra and get undiluted truth to help you understand and digest where we stand in this struggle and where we are heading to. Mazi Chinas Anworu comes on Radio Biafra to give you information, undiluted information as to what is happening in Biafra land. Mazi Chike Doziem, the head of the directorate, do come to Radio Biafra to make important announcements. Once in a while, Lola Uche Chikano, the wife of our leader, also comes on Radio Biafra to address Biafrans. And whenever she speaks the mind of her husband. If you believe and truly believe that you are a follower of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you do well to listen to these people. And as also we have come to this platform to speak, we are speaking the mind of the leader of this struggle. So therefore, we want Biafrans to be aware that there is fire on the mountain. The recent happenings in the struggle is self-explanatory. They have closed our account in Germany and turn around to point fingers on Chike Doziem and the rest of us. They closed the account in America, they turn around to point the fingers on us. But we all, those who are close to this leadership, those who are constantly listening to Radio Biafra, we know the truth. We know that the enemies have come to collapse this struggle by all means possible. First of all, they want to collapse our finances. That is one of the pillars of this struggle. That's why they are frustrating this leadership of funds, so that without funds we cannot run the struggle and everything will collapse. But we are always 7 steps ahead of them. They have also attacked the ESN, which is another pillar of this struggle. They claim that they are ESN themselves. They change their names all the time. They change their titles. They claim to be disciples of Nnamdi Kanu. After being a disciple, you become the prime minister or crime minister, trying to then overthrow the person you're supposed to be following. They made promises to Biafrans that Biafra will be restored in 150 days. Nobody's asking questions. That 150 days has come and gone. They also boasted that they have acquired fighter jets to destroy the zoo called Nigeria. Nobody's asking the question, where did you back the jet? They also boasted of having warship that is going to come and destroy Nigeria. The gullibles keep following sheepishly without asking questions. That's why it is absolutely necessary that you come to Radio Biafra, get enlightenment and get knowledge that the people that we have in our land, we have come to to save them, to protect them, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saw this many years before they are beginning to unfold in our own eyes. That's why we are doing what we are doing. We can never turn around to kill the same people we have come to protect. But those who claim to be fighting for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release are the ones killing the same people they have come to protect. Killing 4 market women who are coming out on Monday to do their businesses, you kill them. You put a seat at home for 2 weeks so that those who are the peasants who must come every day to make their living, you keep them indoors so that they may starve. This is the height of wickedness. It has nothing to do with the struggle. If releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is what you can achieve by sitting at home, what have you achieved for the past 2 years sitting at home? Nothing. Because the Nigerian government doesn't want to know whether you sit at home or not. The pain is only on the Biafran people. Nigeria has no economy, talk less of the economy that you are going to inflict injury on them. When they don't have money, they go and borrow money. They don't care whether the economy is going up or going down. So you cannot keep trying the same thing and getting the same results, and you keep trying the same thing. In this struggle, we have learned to change strategies and make sure we achieve our goal. You can't keep doing the same thing and getting the same result, and you keep doing the same thing. Sit at home, sit at home, sit at home, achieve nothing. This particular leadership of IPOB worldwide have changed different strategies to ensure gotten what we want, to ensure that we are going to achieve it, because when you use one strategy and it doesn't work, you have to brainstorm and see what else you can do to make headway. But this is to show you that they have come to steal, to kill, to maim, and to destroy. Their aim is only to collapse this family, to commit atrocities and hang it on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because there's no amount of years you are going to sit at home that will make Nigeria government to do what they don't want to do. But there are many ways to kill a rat, and that's why this leadership is doing what we are doing, which we are not at liberty to tell you in the public. But those who are watching closely will see with their eyes the result of the work of this leadership. They have done everything to make us, they come and they tell them what we have in mind, what our plans are, but that's not going to happen. Remember when our leader bought the transmitter in London, sent it to Biafra land, they started saying he has embezzled our money, there's no transmitter. The pressure became too high. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu went and took a picture of where the transmitter is in Biafra land and made it public. A few weeks later, the zoo came and arrested those who live in that house and took that transmitter till today. So for that, we have learned our lesson. There's no amount of pressure that will make us tell you what we want to do. But when you do it, you are going to see it with your eyes. We are not here to play, because many lives have been lost, blood have been shed, millions of us have been killed for this particular freedom, and we are not here to make money with it. We are not here to make money. Some people who call themselves relatives or siblings of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has the mindset of turning this struggle to a franchise. And that is very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad that many people have died in this struggle. Many are still dying on a daily basis. And some people still have the guts to be making money out of the blood of our people. Freedom fighters never fight for money. If you are in this struggle and you are depending on the money you are going to get, or you are placed on salary, then you are not a freedom fighter. Freedom fighters fight for their ideology. They spend their own money, their own hard-earned money, not to embezzle what people are contributing to make sure that this struggle moves forward. So therefore, Biafrans, I will be calling on some of the coordinators who have come with me tonight. They will introduce themselves to you, and they will also say one or two things to let you know where we stand. We are here to tell you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains our leader, our supreme leader. Mazi Chike Doziem remains the head of Directorate of State, deputized by Mazi Chukwuemeka Nzurumike. There is nothing like Biafra government in exile. There is nothing like Prime Minister. There is nothing like Biafra spokesperson. All those nomenclature are the scheme of the enemy to try to see if they can destroy what we are doing. But they have failed woefully, and they will continue to fail. And none of them who has soiled their hands in blood, the blood of our people, shall ever live to see this Biafra restored. In the name of Chukwu Keabiam. Let me call my deputy Master Zayuba to say one or two things before other coordinators will be called upon to speak. Thank you, Biafrans. I will be here standing by as we go ahead. Thank you so much. All hail Biafra. Mazi Zayuba, please, I'm calling upon you to come and speak to our people who are listening attentively tonight regarding why we have come here tonight to this broadcast. There we
our European rep, Mazi Abadim. Thank you very much. I hope I'm coming out clear from your end.
Yes, Mazi, go ahead. You are coming out clear.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you to our host tonight, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu. And greetings to Biafrans all over the world and the IPOB family. Depending on your time zone, I am bringing you good tidings from my location here. My name remains Mazi Zayoba, and by the special grace of Almighty Chukwu Kabiama, I serve the indigenous people of Biafra as the Deputy European Rep, and of course also a member of the Directorate. Thank you so much for coming around this evening to listen to us. Of course, my European Rep have said almost everything. Just to add a little bit spicy in what he has already said. Of course, I will not hesitate to realize the head and the leader of this movement, known as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is now in the DSS dungeon. He was kidnapped in Kenya and extraordinarily renditioned to Nigeria. He's a prisoner of conscience. The Nigerian competent court have decided and acquitted this man, and Nigeria, that claims to be a democratic country, never ever obey their own rule of law. When the law does not favor them, they intend to bend it, which is exactly what they're doing, aided and are supported by the British. Of course, British are the one doing what they are doing in Nigeria. Nigeria is not a free country. Nigeria is not independent. Nigeria is a contraption. It's a British farm. That's what I call it. British farm. They call it themselves, British call it themselves, a fantastically corrupt country. It wasn't me that said it. It wasn't IPOB. It is British Prime Minister, sitting Prime Minister at the time, David Cameron, called Nigeria a fantastically corrupt country. And at the same time, President of the United States at the time also called Nigeria a shithole. And Nigeria have exhibited all this name in higher places. Of course, we know that Nigeria is a shithole. We are here tonight to reinstate and to reaffirm our solidarity with our leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Regardless where they had him, regardless where they are keeping him illegally, after the competent court of Nigeria have decided and acquitted him, we are solid behind him, standing shoulder to shoulder with him in this Biafra restoration quest or project, if you like. We are not going to back down. We are not going to retreat. We are not going to surrender. We are here to let our people know that every structure that is established by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of this great movement, is still intact and in place. And that's why you are seeing some members of national coordinators across Europe are going to coming out this week to be addressing you. It has started today. And few of them are going to talk after a few minutes. Of course, you know that this will continue because they are coming in badge by badge. We can't have all the national coordinators to speak tonight. So this set of group will speak tonight, and so the other set will come out tomorrow, and the next according to the program. So this to reassure and tell our people, in the absence of Onyendu, in the absence of the attack, in the whole invasion of IPOB family, we want to let our people know that IPOB family are still intact anywhere they're located. It's quite unfortunate that some, disgruntled fellows have fallen apart. Onyendu mentioned 100 men. Also, but this is the stage where we are now. We are coming here this evening to let our people know that this Biafra and this movement led by Onyendu Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the heart of it cannot be allowed to see any corruption. And we are going to protect this Biafra restoration project. We are going to protect Onyendu. And we are letting the Nigerian state and their handlers and the British government know, with or without Onyendu, we are not going to back down, and we are going to restore Biafra in truth and honesty. No corrupt individual will be allowed to see the heart of this movement. You can only try, you will fail. That is a promise. You think when you kidnap Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, you will collapse this movement. You try to install somebody who is never a part of this movement after nearly 10 years of hard work of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. You want to introduce an infiltrator, somebody who have never at any given time been a part of this movement. You use your media preponderance in the zoo to eulogize him, to bring his name all over the place, that this is the person in the name of disciple. And today, they are falling on the wayside because they are not meant for this Biafra restoration. They can only make noise wherever they are. They continue to make their noise until we came to their domot to shake hand with him. As a coward, as useless as he is, as a mouth-making basket mouth, he went on a hiding. He never come out to address his fellow Biafrans as he claimed to be. He disappeared. He didn't show up anywhere until we left. He came out today bragging with military regalia, and wearing the helmet that we are using to ride a bicycle here and motorbike. Using your brain to mess your brain up. Killing our people with impunity. With the sponsor, heavy sponsored. And it's quite unfortunate that Onyendu announced this thing to our people. That Nigeria have mapped out to set out billions of dollars. That many of our people will be buyed. Many of our people will be bought. Many of our people will be deceived. Many of our people will be sent to early grave. Our people refuse to listen. And today it has happened. Pregnant woman being shot in the street of Biafra land. Unborn child baby being killed by these infiltrators. Our children in the schools being pulled up from their schools. Teachers lie down in the open, being flogged by the criminals themselves that claim that they are fighting for the same children. How can anyone attribute this kind of criminals to IPOB? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have laid his life for. His parents died in this struggle. And we are here to reaffirm that we are not going to tolerate this. Anybody, any individual, any group involved in intimidating and harassing and killing our people will never be forgiven. We can never forgive them. The same people who come out yesterday accusing IPOB leadership, the same people who came to blackmail Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the same people who kidnapped him are the ones that are blackmailing IPOB, are the ones that are working so hard to put themselves in the position of the leadership. Everything is there in the open for us, for everybody to see. The same group of people, until they naked themselves in the open. Even their women, they call themselves Umada Highway. They call themselves different kinds of names. Until the same people naked themselves in the open. Their gangling leader have no shame. He took the nakedness of our woman, an Igbo woman, and posted it on the internet. This is something that our people don't know. He claimed to be fighting for Biafra. And he took the nakedness of a mother that has children, that has a husband, and put the picture of the nakedness of our mother in the open. And killed a pregnant woman with unborn baby on the street of Biafra land. They want to use him to hijack the movement. Him and his group, and they claim the so-called, he called himself Special Counsel. They plan them in layers. These infiltrators and criminals are being put in layers. In layers. You deal with this one, another set will come out. You deal with this one, another set will come out. We will continue also to deal with them until the fizzle away Biafra restored, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu released. We are not going to get tired. But Onyendu told us to prepare. A day like this will come. And if he wants them, it will take them 150 years to take down this structure of IPOB. It doesn't matter how many we are. The freeware we are, the resolute and fierce we are becoming. We are not going to let our people to be intimidated again. We are not going to be a sacrificial lamb. We are not going to allow Igbo land. We are not going to allow coastal region of Biafra land to be a sacrificial lamb for Nigerian states. British for 110 years now. British has contributed nothing to the development of Nigeria till today. And we are using this opportunity to let our people know there is a wave of revolution going around in Africa now. Every Biafran youth must stand up. We have called off the sit at home. They want to demonize the sit at home. And this is why we started shouting to our people, if you don't follow the instruction of the leadership, this is what will become of you. In every organization, there is a structure and there is a leader in that organization. If you start going against the structure, then everything will become messy. And this is what we have warned our people. You don't go and begin to believe somebody who is not a part of the movement. That means if you have fallen this low, that means there's no need of us fight restoration. Because we don't want to restore Biafra that will restore tomorrow. And after we have gone, which Onyendu have said, this time we are here, there will be no one like us. After we have gone, you will wish we live forever. We don't want to leave Biafra restored and you will hand it back to the criminals and to the Westerners that have rendered the Biafra land asunder. No infrastructure, no development, no road, no water, no electricity, no school, no security. They want to make our land a desolate area. They want to make our land uncomfortable for our youth, so they will be running out every blessed day. Come down here in Europe and see thousands of Biafran youth running away from Nigeria because they've been hunted down. This is what Nigeria state, this is what the British want. Make Biafra land ungovernable so that the youth will run away. So they will use our land and do as they wish. And that is the reason why they employ this criminal that based in Finland, that is actually decided to wage war at his own doorstep. Nobody, no sane man, no reasonable person will declare a war in his own house. It doesn't happen. You go outside and declare the war and save your house. You don't bring war to your own inside house. It doesn't happen anywhere. This is the reason why they employ this criminal, this small boy that based in Finland. If the hand of government are not into what he's doing, all the call that we have made to the Finnish government, the investigation they have run on him, and they have confirmed that this guy is a criminal, they decided to lay low because Nigerian government is using them. Also have paid the Finnish government to protect this criminal to continue his killings in our own land. Not in Nigerian states, not to the Nigerian police and military, but to our own land. We have come here to let you know that whatever that guy is doing, whatever him and his group is doing, whatever him and his lawyer that is going to the heart of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, getting out some information, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will think that he's talking to somebody. He doesn't know that information is given is going to the hand of this man. And this guy will be coming on the television, on the radio, on the TV, on the internet and dancing, drinking Hennessy. And he's fighting for your Biafra liberation. We are letting you know there is only one IPOB led by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Anything else is fraud. Our people, you must know how to follow instruction. This is why British fragmented Biafra land. They give all the place they call the South that does not exist in any cardinal point. We are asking the British, where is your own South in Britain? Can you point out where is South? And today they are laying a pipeline from Biafra land to Niger Republic. One of the things that is causing the problem today in Niger. This is what the British are doing. Laying a pipeline illegally without the consultation. Before you lay a pipeline here, anywhere in Europe here, you will consult the entire community. It will be debated by the people themselves that the pipeline will be laid through this community. But this thing is happening in our community. Rather, they will wage war. They will instigate violence in that community, and they will chase our people out from that community. They will start their illegal mining. We are letting our people know that we are here to protect you, not to kill you. The sit at home has been suspended. We suspend it and we call it in whenever it's necessary. Anybody using this to fool you, that is at your own detriment. Learn how to follow instruction and directive. This is how we will protect our land. They said these are the mantras they use to destroy our society, so that nobody will listen to anybody. There will be no leader. There will be nobody directing anybody. And we have come to amend that. We have come to correct that. This is why you see them. They have waged war into the finance of IPOB. They kidnap Onyendu immediately. They started the wage war against this movement and the IPOB leadership. From the leadership himself, to the head of directorate, to the IPOB finance, to everything, even to the sit at home that we've been using for May 30th to honor our fallen heroes. Look at what this criminal is doing with it to destroy our land, to destroy our economy, to destroy our people. And they now want to demonize it, so that anytime you hear sit at
Master Sayub, are you still there? It seems that we have lost you. Master Sayub, we have lost you. Unmute yourself.
Yes, Mazi. Okay, let me just summarize, please, if you can hear me. Yes, let me summarize just in just 50 seconds, please. This information that is coming to me now is about our community called AZK in Enugu. There is a plan, a grand plan, that Fulanis are coming to attack that community. Please, our people in Enugu should be at alert. This is one of the states this infiltrator have taken hostage in the last couple of months now. These criminals have taken hostage of one part, some areas in Enugu. Please, our people in Enugu should listen and follow IPOB leadership led by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. This is where our leader's wife have come and addressed our people. Please, this is for your own safety. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said he wants Biafra land to become this leadership that he established also in the same token as saying that we want Biafra land to become. We want you to live. We are here to protect you, not to kill you. Don't anybody outside IPOB. These are government agents. We are coming here to let you know that we are the real IPOB. We are the leaders of IPOB. Please, our people in Enugu should take note. And also there is an information coming that 1,000 hectares of land has been given away by somebody, Eze. Oh no, Guinea, let me just get it, please. Just 1 second, let me just get it. They call him Eze Onukusigo or something like that. Eze John Onukusigo has given almost 1,000 hectares of land to the Fulani in Owerri for Ruga. Owerri Imo State. Our land is under siege. Our people need to wake up. We need to stand up with other countries now. The Biafran youth. Stand up now with other youth and defend our land. At least what happened in IPOB now, our people can use it now to identify who are the criminals, who are the sponsors of these criminals. The politicians are involved in it. But however, we have now exposed them. Our people need to know who the enemy is and stand up and fight for the freedom of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and not only for the freedom of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, for the liberation, for the freedom of our land. Now that every other countries are doing it, we cannot allow our people to be left behind at this critical time. This is why the European IPOB national coordinators led by Mazi Osinabanyim under the leadership of DOS are here now to reassure our people that we are solidly behind our leader and we are standing shoulder to shoulder with him in protection of our land. Thank you very much for listening to us. Mazi Osinabanyim, I am giving you back the microphone and good evening from Yandeo.
Mazi, thank you for your excellent rendition. And like I already said at the opening speech, our people will do well to listen to us tonight because many, many more information is coming to educate them, to enlighten them, and to make them fit and ready for what is coming. Mazi, thank you so much, my deputy. Let me call on Mazi Namdi Ongumer, our coordinator in Austria. Mazi Namdi Ongumer, please come up and address Biafrans.
Ndewo Mazi Abanyim, Ndewo Mazi Jonathan Chinedu for inviting us today broadcast. Greetings to Biafrans all over the world. Greetings to IPOB Austria. My greetings to our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And also my greetings to our DOS. My name is Nnamdi Kingsley Onwumere. I serve indigenous people of Biafra as a IPOB Austria National Coordinator. We are here today, this evening, to inform Biafrans all over the world that we Biafrans in Austria and in that we are still stand strong behind our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the leadership which he put on the ground, Doctorate of State, the leadership of the IPOB. We stand strong behind them and our leadership, Mazi Edoziem. We have faced so many things since our leader was rendition from Kenya to zoo called Nigeria. We have fought many battles because we know from day one that such a thing will happen the moment they rendition our leader. Because we have seen this thing before, 2015, when our leader was kidnapped, was arrested in Lagos. We know what happened. And we know the moment they hold our leader, they will come again with the same strategy they use. So I want to inform Biafrans all over the world, especially Biafrans in Austria, that IPOB in Austria, that we are still strong and maintaining the structure of our leader, which he keep on the ground. We are not shaking. We are committed and focused. Though during the COVID-19, we have some people that joined our struggle. When our leader was rendition, so many things happened. And those ones, they fall by the side. But the main committed ones, from day one, we are not shaking. We are still stand our stand in the movement of Biafran restoration. IPOB Austria, we never lose focus. We maintain the structure of IPOB, structure of our leader. Keep on the ground here. We never lose focus. So many things have happened among our people in all over the world, in different families. But I want to inform Biafrans that those people that fall by the side, they are not made for this struggle. They are not made for this struggle. Those committed ones, those that are called by Chukwuokike Abiyama for restoration of Biafra, they are still committed, strong. We never lose focus. Our leader opened our radio. We know the reason. Because information is the power. We live in a Western world. We understand the importance of information. We never have such a thing in our land before. We never have a place that Biafrans can come together and gather to hear the gospel of Biafra, to speak about things that are concerning us. And that is the reason why our leader opened the radio. And that is where we get information concerning Biafran struggle, concerning whatever that is happening. That is where we get every information. And in IPOB Austria, we understand this key point that is very, very important. We listen to Radio Biafra, no matter what happened, because that is where we get authentic information about what is going on in this struggle. Because the moment they rendition our leader, the Zoo Nigerian bring a lot of money, pump money outside to spread a lot of fake information, bring a lot of people outside social media to confusing people so that people will lose focus. But we understand the importance of Radio Biafra because this is something we call our own. That is where we get the information. And that is why we never lose focus. And that is why we committed. Because that is where all the whole information, both to leadership of this struggle, whatever we need to know going on at any time, you can get it on Radio Biafra. But our leader's wife, that is where she give her own information. She didn't go to any other radio. It's on Radio Biafra. But so many of our people neglect this radio, trying to find out so many information from social media, and that is why many of them are confused. That is why many of them lose distracted because of they start hearing from and sometimes they don't understand that those people they are listening, they are agents of the zoo. That is why they bring them out to bring a lot of fake information to bring a sweet talk that will make our people lose focus. But we understand all this strategy. That is why from day one we never shake. Those ones that fall by the side, they are the ones that they are weak one among us, and those ones that come during the COVID-19, they don't understand exactly what is going on. And then because they still have the mindset of the zoo. But our leader Mazin Nnamdi Kanu have already informed us, have already prepared our mind from day one. Ahead of this thing that is happening this time around, he already prepared our mind to be focused, to be mentally tough. And without that, we cannot be able to achieve this Biafran struggle we are going through. Because we cannot have the same mindset of the Nigeria. We can never have this mindset of colonial mentality to enter a new Biafra. You must prepare your mind. You must change your your thinking. Understand what is going on. critical thinking. Because in one world, we live where there is a law, without discipline, without a proper organized. We cannot be able to achieve what we are doing. We cannot be able to face a criminal gang up, a mafian country like in Nigeria, where all the home mafian around the world, they are hustling. Nigeria is a hustling ground for mafians all over the world. If you don't know it, all over the world, all criminals from around the world, from Romania, go and check one of the richest man is a mafia. They are all in Nigeria, all over the world. But our brother, Mazi Osnabanyim, try very hard to organize IPOB, to put IPOB Europe in focus since all this thing is going on. And we never lose any focus. We are committed. Look, the moment they hijack our leader, they kidnap our leader, they focus on our account to destroy IPOB account. They use our head of our finance department, but they couldn't make it. They think maybe when they hold the account, when they deny IPO leadership the fund, the struggle will collapse. But they don't know that we already are prepared ahead of them before this. We already prepare ahead. They cannot do anything to stop this struggle, because most people that come out for this struggle, we already determine, we know the pains of our people. We have experienced the pains of our people. We already understand what is going on in our land, no matter we are in outside. Because the reason why most of us go outside is not because of the pain, the what we see now, because they have already make our living outside. We are not happy living outside because they say that no place is better than home. But when you look at our home, it's not comfortable to live because they intentionally did it. And British are involved. They are involved in all this thing going on. For example, many people have already understand during this EndSARS that British are part of the people that sponsoring SARS, paying for SARS, for organ trafficking. And mostly where this thing is happening is in Biafra land. They kill our youth, they harvest their organ. They do a lot of things that women cannot even imagine in our land. They chase all our youth outside, away, make the land uncomfortable for them, so that they can be able to. Because look, in every group of people around the world, the most important people they protect is their women. The moment they destroy their women, they already destroy that lace. Their women is very, very important. That is why they chase all our men now. Most of our men are outside, full outside. Go to Spain, go to Italy, go to all over Europe, go to Asia. It's not okay. It's not normal. We travel outside, yes, but it's not normal. We live all our okay. Those are women. Many of them are there. Fulani are letting most of them impregnating them. Make life uncomfortable for our men, seize all the economy, so that they can even use the money to get so many of them, impregnate them. This is part of their strategy. Or Biafrans, I want to assure you today that IPOB leadership, leading by Mazi Edoziem, is committed to make sure that our leader come out. And we IPOB all over the world, most IPOB also, I stand behind him that make sure that our leader will surely come out in not distant time. Sit at home. Our leader have already informed us that sit at home must stop, because that sit at home is the strategy of IPOB to fight the zoo. What they did is to disorganize, to destroy that sit at home. That is the reason why they are open every Monday sit at home, every Monday sit at home, to make our people to see that sit at home as unwelcome things in our land, to make it, to destroy it, so that our people will not be happy anytime they mention sit at home. They will be afraid. That is the reason why they make it. Every time they go for fundraising, create fake ESN, so that our people will hate. Whenever they hear ESN, they will hate it. They will hate ESN. But ESN purposely established our leader to protect our land, protect our mothers in the farm. But the moment they rendition our leader, they hold our leader, all those strategic points, they focus on that to destroy it. Our radio, our ESN, our IPOB leadership, the pillar of the struggle. They send all infiltrators in all our families. But all those things have come, they have come because they couldn't achieve the purpose of establishing them. All the money Zoo have spent on them have gone because we are mentally prepared. Our leaders have mentally prepared us already before this time coming. We know it will come. I know it will affect us, but we still stand strong and we are not checking. Ebelima cannot do anything. We know him in Austria. We know him because of in 2000 during the lockdown, when we lost one of our brother here in Austria. That was the first time we have a contact with this Ebelima. All Ebelima focus is to fundraising. That time he started telling us to make fundraising for our brother. We tell him, no, we don't need it. We should go. You stop. We don't need any fundraising for our brother. We can do it on our own. We don't need anything. We are surprised. How can we use our brother death to be making fundraising? That time we know, oh, this guy only focusing in fundraising, because anything fundraising, we didn't allow him to continue with that fundraising. I say, no, we don't need that. We can take care of our brother without making it public to the world. And he couldn't go on because we didn't give him a chance to go on. And we do everything our own. Our brother go home in perfect peace and was buried. Now they recruit him again they use him in different strategies, but all the plans they use him have already gone. It doesn't work because we know him from day one. It's only weak-minded people that fall for his own rubbish talk, because what is he talking that we never hear? What is he going to say that we never hear? Because our leader have already informed us in everything we need to know. We already prepared our mind in whatever we are going to do. And we have our leadership that we need to be focused. Because in every movement like this, the leadership is very, very important. Because without a leadership, we cannot achieve anything. Without a leadership that leading us, directing us, to tell us to stop at the time we need to stop, and tell us to go at the time we need to go. Without all these things on the ground, we cannot achieve anything. So Biafrans all over the world, I want to inform you, I want to assure you that we need to be strong and be focused in this struggle. Listen to Radio Biafra. It's very, very important. Radio Biafra is very, very important because that is where we inform our people what is going on. That is where we inform our people. Believe me, because this is our own. We spend our money to make sure that Radio Biafra is on the air. We contributed for every month for Radio Biafra to make sure that Radio Biafra is on the air. We spend our money. We don't take. We spend our own. We are not coming for Biafra to raise fund, to make fun for our own good. No, we are making fund. We are giving our own money to make sure that Biafra struggle is going on and the Radio Biafra is on the air, because the information is very, very important. So Biafrans, listen to our IPOB leader. and listen to our Radio Biafra. It's very, very important. I will stop here for now so that I give other Biafrans a chance to speak. Jonathan, thank you, Mazi Abanim, for this opportunity you give me. I'll stand by for any other announcement. Thank you.
And then, thank you for the eloquent rendition. Like I said, our people are going to be glad that they're listening to this broadcast tonight, because it is one of a kind. Without wasting much of our time, I will be calling the next person on the line, which is Chief Knight Nwokoro. Chief Knight Nwokoro is our coordinator in the United Kingdom. Please come and take the floor and make it snappy. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my able leader, Onishi Mazi Abanim. Thank you, Mazi Chinedu Jonathan, for your continuing wonderful work of information, dissemination, education, and enlightenment on Radio Biafra. A very good evening from here, the heartland of the United Kingdom. I bring each and every one of yours heavenly greetings. I say good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on your time zone, wherever you're listening from. Ezigbo Chineke, faithful Biafrans, friends of Biafra who listen to Radio Biafra, and lovers of freedom all over the world. My names are Ikechukwu Nice Nwokoro. I hail from Onitsha Ezinihite, Wara province in Biafra land, serving the wonderful people of Biafra as the national coordinator in the United Kingdom. It's an honor and privilege to be here tonight at this momentous occasion to address certain silent points. I must acknowledge those who spoke before me. Mazi from us, our Deputy European Rep, Mazi Azaya Oba from Republic of Ireland, for the wonderful insight they've already shown. I'll try to not to repeat what they have said, and I also try to focus on development in the United Kingdom. Before then, I'll join in heavenly supplication to Chukwuka Biama for our amiable leader, Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, his family, his wife and children especially. I pray for angelic protection and divine provisions in this end time of tribulations and temptation. I also join in prayer petitions to our gallant men and women of the ESN, and for all Biafrans, especially those who are in Biafra land, suffering from economic, political, and other forms of hardship imposed by the wicked Janjaweed regime in the Zoological Republic called Nigeria. My sincerest appreciation goes to my UK family, my cabinet, my able deputy, national officers, regional coordinators, zonal coordinators, heads of our national working teams, principal officers, and entire UK family for continued unalloyed support and cooperation. Appreciate you and I love you all. Please do not relent. I'm here on your behalf tonight to reaffirm the UK family's loyalty, solidarity to the leadership movement, our leaders under the able leadership of HOD Mazi Chika, and all through the hierarchy of IPOB worldwide, including my own boss, Mazabanyam. We do not recognize any impostor parading as Biafra spokesperson. As said earlier on, there is nothing like Biafra government in exile. Anyone parading himself with the designation of a prime minister of a certain non-existent government in exile is only a crime minister. And we want to reiterate that this struggle is about the life of great men and women who have paid the ultimate price. It's about blood, sweat, and water. And it's not something to be taken for a ride or a joke, as we have seen the criminal in Finland playing with our sovereignty, playing with our dignity, making caricature on social media with what this struggle stands for. And we say enough is enough. That joke must come to an end. Yoruba people say, joke na joke, joke na person name. And enough is enough. I also want to talk a little bit, I know my colleagues mentioned them, about infiltration and detraction, all we have suffered, especially since the criminal kidnapping of our leader and the extraordinary rendition. I don't want to reiterate that, but I want to pinpoint a particular issue here that concerns the United Kingdom family. We have been well aware of unrelenting detractions and infiltration attacks from people who supposedly are close, including family members of our great leader, Onyendumazi Nnamdi Kanu, targeting the United Kingdom family. We know for sure that these threats are dead on arrival because we remain formidable and focused on our drug goal of Ahmadike's long overdue unconditional release and full restoration of Biafra. We'll continue to maintain the push for Onyendu's release and Biafra independence through the most peaceful route of referendum. And as our European rep said, there is a lot of work we are doing behind the scene, which we are not allowed to divulge any details of, but the results will speak for themselves. I want to vehemently condemn the attempts by certain elements who deceive people using the hallowed name of IPOB. And in particular, I want to speak unequivocally about the activities of one Kingsley Kanu, also known as Kanunta, and Nene Nyanya, who is, or should I say was, the head of finance of IPOB, who continue to use their stooges, mainly people who have been expelled from this struggle because of their unfaithfulness, to create confusion and defraud unsuspecting members of the public and people who want to support us. This is totally unacceptable. I want to plead with the leadership to take once and for all decisive action about the activities of these elements. They have continued to illegally solicit for funds in the name of raising funds for our struggle. They hold kangaroo meetings with these renegades, encouraging insubordination, which is a capital offense in any revolutionary movement. Though their membership is just a handful, about 6-7 people from our intelligence on them. But the nuisance they are creating, especially online, by sending false information, by spreading disinformation amongst our families and members must be curbed. Kanunta is not a member of IPOB in the United Kingdom. Nanyanga is not a member of IPOB in the United Kingdom. Why they will continue to disobey all the rules of the book in the United Kingdom beggars belief. I don't want to go too much into detail, but this is something that is unacceptable in the UK. We have intelligently monitored them and fired leadership, and it's high time decisive action is taken to stop this, because enough is enough. We also want to reiterate that part of the disinformation going on within our struggle is, is a well-orchestrated, well-funded machinery, which the Zulu government pays hundreds of millions of US dollars to finance, ensuring that they penetrate key information platforms to paint IPOB in the bad light, to try to convince the world that we are who we are not. They tried it with the BBC. Last year, we fought, a monumental battle with the BBC, and we are winning, or should I say, we have won, to dispel their disinformation. But Zoo will not give up. Instead of spending money to develop places, to create jobs, to solve the socio-economic problems of the land, which if had been listened to when Major General Effiong handed over the remnants of our territory after the genocide they called Civil War. He warned them that if they don't take care of Biafrans and children of Biafra, a time will come when the new generation will rise to ask the same question that led to our insurrection in the first place. And that is exactly what happened. But instead of ZEU to invest in human capital development and other infrastructural development, they prefer to send capital flights, send the money overseas, to use it to bribe the West, Britain, America, France, and the rest of the criminal code to keep us down. They are the same game again. They've been doing it here, spending valuable resources that can transform Biafra land on propaganda. One recent issue is the one you can find even on Wikipedia, where it stated there, leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, and then a spokesperson, a non-existent spokesperson position, and one Ekperima's name is featured. Somebody was paid to write that junk and infiltrate it into the engine or information engine that is Wikipedia. Our people say, if we continue to allow these little things, little quotes, happen, they become norm, they become the history, they become the truth in quotes. So it's high time that we march force with force intellectually to debunk every piece of information that is incorrect about Biafra and IPOB. This is a challenge to the leadership, a challenge to the IPOB media warrior team, and the rest of us. It's a collective challenge. It's not just one person or department. Here also in the United Kingdom, we have carried that challenge on head on. We are very focused. We are not, this leadership in the UK hasn't really got time, to be honest, for shenanigans. We've been very laser focused on projects and programs and activities, positive activities that impact meaningfully and gainfully to our struggle, without any disrespect to the rest of the great families all over the world. Our strategic approach here in the UK in the last 1 year and a half is one that the rest of the world should try to emulate and understand how it works. I strongly believe that if all of us replicate and improve on that, we're not saying we are the best, Biafra will come sooner rather than later. So what we are doing, regardless of all these little shenanigans going on here and there, people that are paid, people who are fighting for their stomach infrastructure, people who have no focus, no vision, no direction, thinking that Biafra struggle or Biafra restoration mission is one avenue for aggrandizement or enrichment. We have launched a campaign which we call Release Him Now. Enough is enough. The whole of the United Kingdom, this summer season, the whole of the United Kingdom is being covered with posters of Onyendu asking the question, why after 2 years, a British national is being held in illegal detention and still Britain turns to this cause? We are asking the question. We have taken the battle to the 368 members of parliament, the British parliament, including even going as far as the devolved government in Scotland and talking to have engaged them to answer this question. We are going down to school children to conscientize them, to sensitize them, to ask their parents. Some of their parents are these MPs we talk about. They are the mayors, they are the councillors, they are the lawmakers of this country. Such a thing cannot happen in this country to a white Britain. So why is it happening to us? We are also doing the same with our people. This is the season where they go about EDG here, left, right, and center. I'm a very cultural person. I'm a traditional chief. But I've declared to our people that this is not a time for merriment and jamborees. It's a time for deep reflection and action. We are meeting them at the point of their entertainment and merriment. All over UK, starting from this Saturday, where they are doing their Igbo Day in Coventry. They are going to send the message of truth to them and evangelize them and continue to ask the same question which we're asking them. Last year, they said to us, obedient. Peter Obi must be, he's the best. Of course, we know he's the best. Personally, I acknowledge that. But we know that Zoo will do to him what Zoo does. And their declaration was that if they don't give this thing to Peter Obi, Biafra here we come. They have not given it to Peter Obi, even though it was clear that he won it. Would they give it to Peter Obi? Your guess is as good as mine. So my question is, why can't all these people who, I do not mean to disrespect anybody, who are really livid, who are living the life of lies, who are telling themselves lies by believing that Zoo will be transformed, that there will be a new Nigeria, as if the old Nigeria, of course the old Nigeria is dead anyway since 2014. What is going on in the Zoo since 2015 is that APC has been conducting a protracted, if you like, a prolonged funeral of Nigeria, which died in 2014. And that is why nothing is working. They bring Buhari, the living one and the dead one, continued no progress. Now they brought Tinubu. We don't know whether it's half alive or half dead. Nothing is working. Because since 2014, Nigeria expired. This country knows it. The whole world knows the truth. They just decided to prolong the funeral. And for 9 years, they are still conducting funeral service. So it's high time that we moved on and march with the truth. Yes, revolutionary way of going on in Africa, West Africa in particular. But we must indigenalize ours, because the quest for Biafra restoration is not the promotion of military junta, which can never displace democracy. But our quest is a legitimate cause for a restoration via the legal route of plebiscite. Let the people decide what they want, and thereafter let democracy take the order of the day. So we must continue to carry this message to our people, to our friends, to our immediate communities, wherever they are. There is no question for me about whether there is one IPOB or not. There is only one IPOB, the whole world knows it. There is no question about who is the leader of IPOB. They know the truth. Forget about the fabrications. I haven't got time for that. I am hitting the head at the nail at the pertinent issues and the questions that we must ask, and the authorities that we must speak through to get the answers we need. Today, not tomorrow. I'm glad that these developments are going on. The whole world now knows who the real terrorists are. The whole world now understands that the ruling rogue regime at the APC in Nigeria is the real terrorist. Asari Dokubo, the Greek pig, has confessed inadvertently by his own mouth that all the stories about a so-called unknown gunmen, which they were using to tag IPOB bad name to try to label us terrorists, is a contract between his illegal militia group, Killer Squad, and the ruling Fulani government of Zoo. And that contract has been renewed by this new illegitimate government. So the great Biafrans, friends of Biafra, lovers of freedom, my message is that you cannot supplant good with evil. You cannot duplicate what is good with evil. And that's what is happening with even Eberima. In every revolutionary movement, go and do your research, even the ANC and the rest, there was always an attempt by the imperialists or the slave masters or those who benefit from that bad system to duplicate that revolutionary movement. So personally, I'm not surprised that we are encountering people like Eberima and their allies. We will encounter more. That's why we must remain resolute, stay sure, and firm focus on what we are doing. I thank every one of us once again. I don't want to take too much of our time at this stage, but if there are questions or comments that will warrant my coming in, it'll be my honor and pleasure to chip in again. Lastly, I also want to emphasize on the importance of great positive media presence. I cannot appreciate and love enough the wonderful work Radio Biafra is doing. That work must be complemented by the television version of our platform. And that's where the BTV comes in. I know that we are working hard to get BTV on stream in no distant time. I know the power of television. I worked in television for more than 8 years. So I know for sure that once BTV comes on, the wonderful work Radio Biafra is doing will be magnified, will be amplified. And also all our members continue on social media, match them force by force, whether it's Twitter or now X or any other platform. Show your presence there. Debunk every rubbish they say. Be polite, but be very, very structured. Have your facts and figures and dismantle all their lies. Thank you very much once again. Ndewo Chineke.
There were Chief Nice Nwokoro, that you have done justice to tonight's program on a different dimension. You have touched areas that is already untouched tonight. So we are glad, and I'm sure Biafrans are really enjoying tonight's program with all the details and all the information that they need to get prepared for what is coming and what is already on the ground. Like I said at the beginning, information is power, and what we are giving them tonight is that power that they may get prepared for the unforeseen, and for all the machinations of our enemies and all the saboteurs that have been built. They can how derail our struggle or destroy what we are doing, but they have failed woefully, and that's why we're here tonight to confirm to Biafrans that they have failed indefinitely, and they will continue to fail as long as this struggle is concerned. Our leader must be released unconditionally and very soon, because we are doing extraordinarily much work to ensure that this is done as soon as possible. And I'm sure some criminals will also come to claim glory, just like they say, monkey they walk, baboon they shop. That's what they are doing. They are usurpers who have come through the back door in order to see if they can steal, to kill and destroy. But we have come here tonight to strip them naked before the world and to shame them, although they are already shameless, but we continue to shame them until they notice that their nakedness has been exposed. They were watching you have done very well. Let me go forward now to call the next person, which is in the person of Mazi Ugo Keke Oda, our national coordinator in Italy. Mazi, please, the floor is yours now. They were watching it.
I greet everybody, fellow Biafrans. My name is Mazi Oda Keke Ugo, the Italian National Coordinator. I thank the European rep, the Deputy European rep, and Mazi Jonathan Chinedu. I want to go straight to tell you what is going on in Italy. Italy is okay. We don't have any problem with anybody. We don't have duplicate here in Italy. Italy is one family. IPOB is one. We don't have any duplicate in Italy. I still thank all my executive members here in Italy, the coordinators who are with shoulder to shoulder with me here, fighting the evil ones. But I think now in Italy, I think we are good to go. We are okay. We don't have any problem. The only thing I want to emphasize, because you people have said it all. What I want to chip in here is we don't have any shoulder to shoulder with Niger. IPOB worldwide don't have any hand shoulder to shoulder with Niger. We are IPOB, and we are one family. Anything you don't hear from the rest, we don't hear from Mazi Chinasa, who always do the wonderful job coming to Radio Biafra to analyze what is going on in Biafra land. I don't think you're going to Facebook to go and waste your time there instead of wasting your time to come to the meeting and know what is going on. Now, Biafrans all over the world, what we are saying here today is to make the threat to emphasize what is going on all over the world. But Biafra is one. IPOB doesn't have any duplicate. Only Ndomazina the Kalu is the head, and it's not debatable. Anybody that is telling you that Mazi Gosdosium is not the head, or their siblings is in charge, we don't know about them. They are using the money to fight us, which is the money between the debt these people are using to fight Biafrans. Biafrans all over the world, you should ask yourself questions. Where these people are getting this money they are using always. Simon Eber doesn't go out of Finland. Your people should give him this a bet. He normally go to sign something in the city of their Helsinki. He can never leave that Finland. That guy will stay in that one room trying to I'm sorry to call that name here in Radio Biafra, honestly. That Berimadia in Finland trying to see people like Mazi Asayoba said, the helmet we always use here for bicycle. Doing Yahoo on you people said nobody will stand to ask questions. If you want to debate these people, just debate them and ask simple questions. You will see they will remove you. There's even the siblings of Onyendu. debate them and ask them questions, they will remove you immediately. They can't debate any question because they know what they are doing. They know the truth. So Biafrans all over the world, I just want to make my own very shortly. We are good to go here in Italy. Italy has no problem. And I thank all my coordinators here in Italy who are doing wonderfully well to fight the evil they have brought to us in these 2 years. 2 years, I still want to thank all the whole IPOB members all over the world. You see these 2 years, all the whole hardcores who stand firm to fight this mess, this fight we are fighting today. Your people is the hardcores. Your people knows what is really going on. Your people is that 100 men Onyendu is talking about. 100 men is not when you count and reach 100, you will stop. Onyendu know what he meant by saying 100 men. Thank you all over the world, Biafrans, and I wish you all the best, and we will keep on fighting. Onye na-agba ọsọ na-agbalị bụ na-aga, ọ na-ezu ike. Ndewo n'ụmụ Chineke. Maazị Agbalim, I will leave it at that. I will stand by. Ndewo Maazị. Ndewo n'ụmụ Chineke.
Ndewo Maazị Uda, you have done very well. Short and simple, and the message has synced. We believe Biafrans have received your contribution tonight as we are moving forward. Like I said, we will be coming every Thursday, group by group from IPOB Europe National Coordinators. We will be back on Saturday to enlighten our people and to inform them our solidarity, about our solidarity with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and this particular GOS of IPOB leadership headed by Mazi Chike. We are coming here to strengthen our position and renew our allegiance to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who remains our leader wherever he is. We believe that those who are holding him now, they are no more comfortable because calamity is falling upon them by the day. So in order not to waste much time, let me call our brother Mazi Innocent Abapurong, who is our coordinator in Czech Republic, to come also to address Biafra. Mazi, please, the floor is yours now. Mazi Abapurong, Deo. Because I don't know if you can hear me. Unmute yourself, Mazi. Unmute. Press the, unmute and then speak.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
First of all, I want to extend my greetings to our Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We all are solidly behind him in Czech Republic, as I am the coordinator in Czech. I want to introduce myself. I am from Awomama, Olu province. My name is Innocent Ifeanyichukwu Abapurong. By the special grace of God, I am serving the indigenous people of Biafra in Czech Republic as the national coordinator. I want to renew my allegiance to the DOS. They are doing wonderfully well. My greetings to Mazi Chika Edoziem. My greetings to Mazi Abanim, the European rep, and all the members of the DOS. I want to start by saying that Czech Republic is intact under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. For those of them that wanted to play the ball overhead, they've seen that there's no way they can score the goal. They have tried, but they didn't succeed. Mazi, am I coming out clear?
Yes, go ahead, Mazi. We are hearing you clearly. Go ahead.
Okay. So let me recap. I want to tell the people that are trying to play the ball overhead here in Czech Republic They've tried so many times. They didn't succeed. I know they will keep trying, but they will never succeed. Czech Republic, as far as I know, we are all under the leadership of IPOB, headed by Mazi Nnamdi Okukano, and also the DOS, headed by Mazi Chika Edoziem. For those of us here in Czech that are trying to play the ball overhead to score goal, they did it many times, but they've seen there's no way they can score the goal. Insubordination is a capital offense. Any member of IPOB in Czech Republic that does not go by the rule knows what he or she will face, especially from me, before it gets to the head office. We all are praying for long life of Mazi Nnamdi Okukano, and we are praying that he will regain the freedom as soon as possible, because the Nigerian government, they have done their best, or rather, they've done their worst. Some people here, some people in Czech Republic, we are bribed to destabilize IPOB in Czech. But they didn't succeed, and they will never succeed. Eperima and his group, they've tried to get IPOB under their foothold, but they didn't succeed, and they will never succeed. The head of finance and all of them, they've done their best, they've done their worst, but Czech Republic, we are not giving in to whatever they are planning. They said 2 heads are better than 1. I also want to thank my deputy, Mazi Miracle Arongo. This guy is wonderfully doing well. Now, let me go straight to the point. Everybody have heard about the confession Asari Dokubo made. All the people, all our brothers and sisters they have killed, are they going to come back? Nowhere. So there is no forgiveness. We will never forgive them. If anybody can, anybody, I am not going to forgive all the people that are connected to the death of my brother Ikonso. I will never forgive them. Mazi Nnamdi Okukano, our supreme leader, must have to be released unconditionally. Nothing attached to it. The court have set him free so many times, but the federal government of the Fulani have used to obey the court order, sided by the British government. They will get anybody listening to this radio, genocide on Biafra. We have been blessed by God. I want to fall in on his or her where you get the authentic information. You get the information on what is freedom, but which is no other place than Radio Biafra. Greetings to the media world. They are doing great. They are doing marvelously well. Sure, dear. So you have to review who you follow before you retweet whatever they have tweeted before. You're following as what I have tweeted and see if you can retweet it or not. Finance, like Mazi Abanim said, the movement. But we are like, I mean, if it is in the Igbo, there is a name there call Nwachinemere, Nwa Okopane Yirakwa. So these two names, I mean, look at them synonymously. You will see the difference and you see how they connected. IPOB worldwide, there is no derailment. When you block us this way, we go that way. We are 7 foot ahead of them. We are more steps ahead of them. The Nigerian government will never stop. They will never stop to get people to derail us. But remember, all this money they are spending to get IPOB derailed are being gotten from Biafra land. The money is being gotten from Biafra land. There's no other place. There's no other income. Now, the people in Angola, the people in Nigeria, they are killing the Igbo people living in those countries. How do we get them to know that these people are not part of the war that Nigeria is trying to wage against them? It's by tweeting, by disseminating the truth, telling the people what is going on outside Nigeria and inside Nigeria. Look at how they're killing our people every now and then. And Ekperima is there supporting them. This is one of the reasons I said we cannot forgive and we cannot forget. Every person that died because of Ekperima will be noted, and he's going to account for them. Not only Ekperima, all the politicians in Biafra land that are not speaking up, they will have their dues to pay when the time comes. And the time is coming. It's not going to be long. I want to say that the DOS, please, keep it up. Mazi Chinasawur, you're doing a fantastic job. All the members of DOS, they are doing great. But please, I want you all to keep it up. If we look into the DOS very well, some of these people that fall out, they were members of the DOS, including the Accountant General. So, don't leave any stone unturned. If you see the ones that are not playing, dancing to the tune of what we are doing, please, before they sell out house, get rid of that person. I want to the DOS. I want to renew my allegiance to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And I am in these services for the fact that I am still the national coordinator in Czech Republic. All the people, all my members here in Czech Republic, all the family we have, we are under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There's no going back. And if I suspect that anyone is not following us, the person knows how I do my thing. I'm not coming here to say it. I will do this, I will do that. No. That is why most of them say that I am too rigid. Some of them have come in here to hijack the family, but they had no chance. But the people that volunteered to be our media head, their correspondent head, they've seen that the opportunity is not there for them to do what they want, so they left. And most people are saying that I am too rigid in Czech Republic. Yes, I will remain rigid. I even want to be more rigid than I am now. I have no enemy. I have no friend. As long as you are under the IPOB led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you are my brother. Whatever the Ekperima is doing, he is not a member of IPOB and he will never be a member. Now, everybody should watch out. So many people are going to fall out. So many. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it before. At a time like this, we will be witnessing things like this. And many more are going to come. Many more are going to come. I think I will stop here. I don't know if I've exceeded the time, but I'll give the mic back to Mazi Abanim. I will stand by. If there's any question to ask me, I am here to answer it as long as Czech Republic is concerned. I also want to thank Mazi Chinedu for hosting us. Mazi Chinedu, you're doing a great job. So most of the times that I call, I know the line must have been busy. My line doesn't go through. So most of the time I wanted to talk one or two things, but I doesn't get through. But it's not your fault. I'm not putting the blame on you. Thank you very much for doing the great job. Thank you for doing the good job. Mazi Abanim, I hand over the mic to you now. Thank you, sir.
You have done very well. You've done justice to the program. Biafrans must be glad that we came tonight, and like I said, we will continue to come from time to time, batch by batch, until all the coordinators in Europe have spoken, until they have addressed Biafrans, and especially those in their countries of jurisdiction. We want to use this opportunity to thank those who have listened tonight and pray that the message we have brought tonight will sink and jump in it to bear fruit, because that's our own coming out tonight to speak. Also, them to those lions who have come out to see who they are. But before one Biafrans to be warned, so that they can be armed against of our enemies who have solely come to turn this struggle into franchise, to enrich themselves upon the blood of Biafrans. And this is unacceptable before God and before man. So we want to close by saying that Chukwuabiam will continue to bless IPOB members worldwide, strengthen those who are honestly and consciously committed into the Biafra project. He will continue to protect and guide Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his family, especially his Lolo, Chechu Kanu. She shall be strengthened, and we know how difficult it is for her, but Chukwuabiam will never abandon his own. Pray for you, Lolo. We pray for your family, pray for IPOB families worldwide, and that Chukwuabiam will continue to sustain each and every one of us. Give us all the enablement to get this Biafra restored as soon as possible, and our leader to be released imminently. That is our prayer, and it is in the name of Chukwuabiam I have prayed it. We have come to the end of the program for tonight. We are going to come back on Saturday. Thank you so much for hosting us, and thank you for doing the good work. Dear friends are delighted with what you are doing, and all other radio presenters. Thank you so much, Mazi. They're watching it. Oh, hey, Biafra.
Yeah, probably handy.
Yes, we have come to the end of tonight's program. We are going to come back again on Saturday with another batch of national coordinators.
Yes,
in Europe, until all of them have addressed Biafra. That's our program. Thank you so much.
and all the coordinators that have spoken, Nomo Chineke, we must continue soldiering on because we cannot go back. We have no back to go to. IPOB, the structure of IPOB is working and we are moving on. Thank you for your renditions and speeches to Biafrans and all lovers of freedom all over the world. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, this is where we come to the end of the program. Tomorrow is another day. We must continue doing what we are doing because we have no back to go to. If we stop this, we are all perishing. That is the reality. Therefore, Biafra remains our ideology. Biafra remains our religion. Biafra remains our focus. Therefore, we have to continue. From me, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu, it is simply good night.
People, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet Earth, once again we welcome you to another explosive, exciting, expository edition of our Wednesday live presentation on this glorious platform, this Radio Biafra, on this very day, Wednesday, the 23rd of September in the year of our Most High Elohim, 2020. The time now is exactly 6 minutes past 7 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. And I also imagine the same number of minutes past the top of the hour, regardless of where you are domiciled or where you are living. I welcome you sincerely and wholeheartedly. Therefore, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you. Radio Biafra is listened to across every time zone on the face of this very planet Earth that Chukwukikabiama created. I welcome each and every one of you, and as I do so, I will please encourage you to welcome other people as well. If you're watching or listening via Facebook, on my wall, not minding all the suppressive activities of Facebook, I would encourage you to please try and share that as much as possible. I know most of you have now found a very safe home in IPOB Community Radio. Most of you are listening via that very platform. Some are listening via our satellite, even all the way to Europe. And I know that a greater majority of our people are listening via FM 102.1, depending on where you are, in Biafra land, in Lagos, in Abuja, and also in Kano as well. We are broadcasting this very message that our people may become sufficiently enlightened to advise themselves that continued existence of the damnable zoological republic will mean their premature termination, not just of themselves, but their communities, their villages, and also their ethnic group as well, if care is not taken. Therefore, we are here to preach this very gospel of hope, of redemption, a gospel of truth, and unblemished propagation of the gospel of the restoration of the kingdom of heaven upon the face of this very earth. Without further hesitation, we are going to pray
And after we must have finished praying, then we will go on to bring to you what we have in store for you this very day. Because we know that the whole world is waiting very patiently to hear this very gospel this evening. We are going to pray. I am going to pray a prayer of David. My favorite part of the Torah is the Psalms. I love them and I love praying with them. I am going to pray a prayer that I pray every blessed day of my life. It is Psalm 70. And I will pray it in the language of heaven. Some are reminding me that I have not introduced myself. I don't think that I need any further introduction, but for those who are joining us for the very first time, you're listening to the voice of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra all over this very planet, the largest mass movement on the face of this very earth, bar none. I lead IPOB very graciously, of course. I also direct Radio Biafra and Biafra Television, but above all, and by the very special grace of the Most High whom we serve, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. Now we must pray, and I will pray in the language of heaven. Please, if you have a direct line to the Almighty in heaven, they will tell you that they are worshiping Him in this very language I'm about to pray in right now, the very oldest language on the face of this very earth, the language of the ancient people. Chineke nna nke pụrụ ime ihe niile, onye anyị na-efe wee na-akpụ isi ala nye. Chineke nna nke usu niile nke ndị agha, onye ndị Igbo na-etu ebighị ebi. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya kere ihe niile kere eke, mana o nweghị ihe ọ bụla bụ ihe kere ya. Ya onwe ya bụ onye nọ mgbe ji wee malite. Ọ bụ naanị gị bụ isi mbido, naanị gị bụ ọgwụgwụ nke ndụ mmadụ dị ndụ. Chineke nna nke ụmụ Izrel, Chineke nna nke kere eri, Chineke nna nke ndị Biafra, Chineke nna onye na-adịghị agharịpụ ndị ya, onye okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-arịọ gị eze ndị nsọ, gị onwe gị bụ onye mmụọ na mmadụ na-akpụ isi ala nye, ka ị wee mụọ ọsịsọ ezi Chineke nna bi n'igwe, ka ị bịa zọpụta ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra na ndị niile bụ ndị nọ na mkpagbu n'obodo ekwensu bụ Nigeria nke mmadụ dị ndụ mere, n'ihi na ọ bụ naanị gị na-eke obodo, ọ bụghị mmadụ dị ndụ. Anyị wee na-arịọ gị ka iwe gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka na ndị iro abatawa anyị n'ime ha gbawa anyị okirikiri, wee jide ụmụ gị wee na-ala ha n'iyi, wee jide ọbara ndị nsọ wee were ya wee na-akwafu nna nke ebere. N'ihi na o nweghị mgbe ọbụla ọ bụ uche obi gị iwere anyị wee nyefee n'aka ndị iro ndị a na-ebighị ugwu, ụmụ ekwensu, ụmụ ọchịchịrị, kama ọ bụ site na nnupụ isi anyị na mmehie anyị, i wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ wee ruo n'ụbọchị nke taa. Kama anyị wee na-agwa gị ezi ebube dị ngọzi n'ụwa niile na-ege anyị ntị, na anyị na-ewere ihe niile nke anyị ụwa anyị bụ wee nyefee gị na ọ gbadara aka gị nna nke ebere, n'ihi na ọ bụ naanị gị nna nke igwe ka ihe niile ekere eke na-erubere isi. Anyị wee na-arịọ gị ezi ebube dị ngọzi ka i wee tinye ndị dị etu a n'ụzọ ihe nakwa ọgba aghara, bụ ka ha rabụ ndị na-achụgharị anyị mgbe niile, ka ha wee memile anyị, ka i wee chụghachi ndị dị etu azụ bụ Fulani Janjaweed na ndị otu ha niile, ma tinye ọgba aghara n'etiti ndị dị etu a bụ ndị chọrọ mmemila IPOB. Bịakwa ka i wee chụghachi ndị iro anyị azụ, ka ụgwọ ọlụ ndị dị etu a wee bụrụ ihere nke onwe ha, ka ha rapụ ndị na-achị anya ọchị mgbe niile, na-asịlekwa ka ọnọdụ ha dị. Kama ka anyị onwe anyị bụ ndị na-achị iru gị bụ ụmụ Chineke, bụ ndị nwe obi aṅụrị na obi ụtọ n'ime gị. Anyị onwe anyị bụ ndị nwe ezi ịhụnanya ebe nzọpụta gị nọ. Ọ bụ ya mere mgbe niile ka anyị na-ekwu ukwe wee na-abụ abụ wee na-eweli olu anyị elu na-asị onye nwe anyị bi n'igwe, ka anyị jaa gị mma Chineke nna bi n'igwe, ka anyị jaa gị mma ọkaka, ka anyị jaa gị mma nwanne otu onye. n'ihi na anyị bụ ụmụ ogbenye nweghị ihe ọbụla nke anyị nwe anyị wee na-arịọghị ka iwe gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka ọsịsọ n'ihi na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ Chineke na nke pụrụ m ihe niile. Ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye enyemaka, ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye nzọpụta, ọ bụ naanị gị bụ Elohim Adonai El Shaddai. Biko atụfukwala mgbe bịa ọsọ ọsọ ezi ebube dị ngọzi ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị wee jee anyị mma wee too gị. Ọbụla dị ka ndị mmụọ ozi si wee na-agba oche ozi gị okirikiri na nke bred ngọzi wee na-asị na ede nsọ ka anyị onwe anyị bụ anụkwa ahụ n'elu ụwa wee si etu a wee jee anyị mma ezi ebube dị ngọzi ka otuto niile na nsọpụrụ niile ịja mma niile bụrụ nke naanị gị onye nwe m ugbu a ma ruo mgbe niile ebighị ebi ka anyị na-arịọ ise the language of heaven. If you pray in this very language, anything you ask for will be given to you. If your heart is clear and your mind is pure, that I can assure you, there is nothing that I pray for that I do not get. Absolutely nothing. Anything I ask for, I get it. I pray in this very language of heaven, the language of the ancients. If you want to know how to ask God for something and is granted, go and study the secrets of David. David is about the only person that knew how to speak to Elohim, and all his wishes was granted. Thank you very much. I welcome each and every one of you. All of you, wherever you are this very evening, you must get your pen and paper ready because we are about to educate even the uneducatable. We are going to educate them this very day. We are going to speak the whole truth and nothing but the truth. A justification of everything we have been preaching from day one. I am starting today's program with that very letter that I now believe has gone viral. You know, sometimes I wonder only if we can reason properly. Only if black people can reason properly and only if we can read between the lines can we then appreciate the magnitude, or should I say, the importance of this very correspondence from the very Baroness Cox, the woman that I met. I think that was last year. I went to the House of Lords and we met her, myself, and my immediate younger brother, as a matter of fact, accompanied me on that very trip, and also Solomon Ebo as well, who is our Manchester coordinator. We went to go and see Baroness Cox, and she spoke very well, very eloquently, very grand. And I knew immediately that she was a woman of immense courage and integrity. And today, I believe with the writing of this very letter to Patricia Scotland, who is the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, that she has justified my faith in her. She has justified my faith in her. And I wish that a lot of people can come up, not too long ago, just a few days ago, so to speak, the U.S. ambassador made history as being the first person, not just the first woman, but the very first person to guarantee what may resemble free and fair elections in the damnable Zoological Republic. And now that has been followed by Baroness Cox. I don't know the influence that women are having. I wouldn't say they're inordinate, but I do welcome all of them. And we are going to analyze this very correspondence this evening to lay a very clear and unmistakable foundation as to the direction this zoo is headed and what we all need to do individually and collectively to ensure the survival of our respective ethnic groups and our respective nations that Lugard unceremoniously bound together in the British colonial experiment that they also christened Nigeria. Baroness Cox of the House of Lords of England, of course, of the United Kingdom, wrote to Right Honourable Patricia Scotland QC, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, whose office at Marlborough House in London is W1 Y5HX, a place I know very well, having lived there for very many years. And Baroness Cox started by saying, or by addressing her letter to Patricia. She said, "Dear Patricia, we, meaning herself and a few other parliamentarians in the UK, we write to highlight urgent concerns about escalating violence in Nigeria, where attacks led by Boko Haram, Fulani herders, and other Islamist militia continue in northern and central belts, with reports of increasing violence in the southeast. For the very first time, they acknowledge that there is violence being visited upon our people by the Janjaweed military, the army, and the police. You must listen very carefully in this letter, and also for the very first time coming from people that we consider to be part of the British establishment, a recognition that despite the coloration by some sections of the Zoo media in terms of the description of those carrying out all these heinous attacks as Fulani headers, for the very first time they acknowledge that Fulani people are the ones killing, pillaging, maiming, and sacking towns and villages. At the risk of sounding like an ethnic bigot, which is what they often accuse me of, but the truth of the matter is that each and every of the now 7 terrorist groups in the zoo are all funded and staffed by Fulani people. And as I said, for the very first time, I know that the Foreign and Commonwealth Office will disagree with this. I know that those of them who work in their foreign missions, who get, should I say, quite a sizable chunk of bribe money from the Fulani Caliphate, will disagree with this. Anybody who is against it is in the payroll of the Janjaweed. You must understand this. For the very first time, they acknowledge there are attacks from Boko Haram, of course, but from Fulani headers. They called a spade, which is why I have regard for this very letter. If not, I wouldn't have read it out. And other Islamist militia, which is also a recognition that Muslims are killing Christians in the zoological republic called Nigeria. For the very simple reason that the government, the army, the police, the customs, the navy, every paramilitary organization, every organization that bears arms in the zoological republic have all been Islamized. They are all staffed and led by Muslims from the Sahel, and they will kill for their religion. Under the cloak or cover of one Nigeria, they are now executing their master plan of conquest and forced Islamization. And I congratulate these parliamentarians in the UK for recognizing that. The reason why this letter is very important is because never, I cannot recall in the history of the Zoological Republic where parliamentarians from the UK have risen with one accord and one voice to condemn what is happening in the zoo or what their puppets, their lapdogs, the Fulanis are doing. It's never happened before. This is the very first time it's ever happened. You must listen very attentively. For the very first time also, they acknowledge Biafra. Of course, they cannot mention Biafra, they said Southeast. They know there is violence there. So all the tweeting we've been doing, all the campaigning, everything that everyone has been doing, not just us, there are a lot of people who are working very, very hard to convey this very message. And also, especially those of them from the Middle Belt, the very team led by T.Y. Danjuma, of course, that went to see them a while back. And they listened to him because he is one of them, and they believe him. And that is the main thrust of this very letter. Not thrust, but thrust. T-H-R-U-S-T. Please, I must be quoted correctly. Now I continue with this very letter. According to a report by the UK All-Party Parliamentary Group, APPG, for International Freedom of Religion or Belief, entitled Nigeria Unfolding Genocide. Do you know the funniest thing about it? This was the same genocide that was visited upon Biafra, because if you recall many years ago when I used to pray on this very platform, I said, "Dear God in heaven, allow all those who connived and conspired with our enemies to bring evil upon your children to experience the same thing we had gone through." Anybody who is an avid listener or follower of this very platform, Radio Biafra, will understand that in times gone by, that used to be my prayer. I don't pray that prayer today because the suffering is enormous, it is too much. But now there is an acknowledgement by the powers that be in the UK, those that created the Zoological Republic, that there is unfolding genocide. Unfolding genocide. An acknowledgement from a quarter that hitherto will do everything within their powers to deny Fulani atrocity. And make no mistakes about it, all the atrocities happening in the Zoological Republic is as a result of Fulani Janjaweedism. They want to terrorize you, they want to suppress you, they want to intimidate you, they want to colonize you, they want to take over your land, and they want to annihilate you. That is the way they operate, that is who they are. And that is how they will continue to be until somebody puts a stop to them, which is exactly what we are doing. Now listen to this very report, and I want it published on my page, please, so that people can follow accordingly. I don't know what other platforms there are that this very publication, I'm sure that most of you have seen it, but the only reason why I'm having to do this analysis is because I don't think that they did justice to it. They do very well, most of them, but I don't think that they quite handle this properly. Thousands of civilians have been killed, and elements of the Nigerian government may be complicit in violence. What it means is that for the very first time also from Britain, there is an acknowledgement that Aso Rock itself, the Fulani people in Aso Rock, they call them the presidency, the cabal, they are part of the violence. This is something that people would now need to acknowledge and, should I say, formulate a plan that neutralizes this very governmental complicity in the spread of terrorism in a place that they call a country or a nation. Now, these MPs and House of Lords members can see very clearly. Some of us don't understand English language very well, and most of these letters are couched in what is called diplomatic speak. So you may not understand it unless you delve into it and begin to strip off all the layers of niceties. But in this very letter, they have dispensed with all of that. They have gone straight to the point. They are saying that this APC government, this government that you call Buhari, the dead man who is in Saudi Arabia, this government of Fulani Cabal, this government of Abakari, this government of Issa Funtua, this government of what is the name again? Mamandaura. This government of the Sultan of Sokoto, of the Fulani irredentis, that they are complicit in the killing of their own people, assuming you regard the zoo Nigeria as one country. These are people, you must understand that these are people who wouldn't normally be critical of a Fulani regime, because they benefit from it. For them to come out so explicitly and boldly to condemn what is quite rightly unfolding genocide in the zoo tells you the extent of the damage that the Fulani Janjaweed has done to people in that damnable zoological republic. This very group, as their letter goes on to say, the APPG's concerns reflect the findings of a report by Amnesty International. The report is titled, "We Dried Our Tears, Addressing the Toll on Children of Northeast Nigeria's Conflict," which concludes, listen very carefully, which concludes that the Nigerian Armed Forces, the Nigerian Army led by Buratai, have committed war crimes and crimes against humanity during their operations. They have never fought any foreign war. They have never conquered any piece of territory for the zoo. They have not done anything gallantry worthy of mention. They have not exhibited their heroics anywhere else in the world. Only, I am telling you, in the second paragraph, it says that the Nigerian government is complicit in the genocide going on in Nigeria. Third paragraph, the Nigerian army itself asking for weapons from China, asking for weapons from Czech Republic. They have committed war crimes. In other words, anybody supplying arms to the Nigerian army or Nigerian police are complicit in the genocide, or should I say the war crimes that these people are committing. Now you understand it. And you must now see the need and reason why we must resist. We must resist the zoo army. We must resist them. With the last drop of our blood, we must resist them. Because they are war criminals. That is what they do. Because they got away with crimes against humanity in the Northeast, they brought that also during their Python dance. And Britain was doing all they can to protect them. Britain knows The government, or should I say the administration of Cameron, the administration of Theresa May, and now also Boris Johnson, they are fully aware of the genocidal tendencies of Asorok. They are aware of it. They are all aware of it. But they have chosen to do nothing. Therefore, we thank these parliamentarians. They went on to say that the Nigeria's former Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Theophilus Danjuma, whom some of us have met and spoken to, says the armed forces are not neutral. They collude. You must understand. T.Y. Danjuma was the man that killed Ironsi. T.Y. Danjuma is a hater of Biafrans. I must tell you this very clearly. Maybe not anymore because they've apologized and we accept it. But I'm telling you that this man served in the military. He was part of Arewa. They thought that they are from the north, that Arewa will welcome them, that they are part of Fulani. They never knew that Fulani had ulterior motive, that Fulani even had a plan to swallow them as well. You must listen very carefully this evening. This letter is very, very huge. Only if I know after analyzing this letter, the Fulani will do what they do best. They will pump money into the UK. They will pump money into the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. They will give so much money to the British High Commissioner in Abuja. They will pump money. They will bribe every newspaper. That's what they do best. People don't understand that is what they do. The people who are signatory to this letter are those they could not bribe. I live in the UK and I've been meeting these people since 1997. I know them very well. You must listen very carefully, please. Danjuma said that the army in Nigeria is not neutral. Danjuma said they collude. Who are they colluding with? With the terrorists. That is why the army will now go and say terrorists have repented, they can now join the army. They are colluding. Therefore, when you see a military Hilux van in Asta, or see a military Hilux van leaving 82 Division in Enugu, you don't know if they are terrorists, you don't know if they are genuine army. Nobody knows anymore. The lines are blurred. When you see a soldier now in the zoo in Nigeria, you don't know if that soldier is there to fight terrorism or if that soldier is there to commit terrorism. You have no idea. These are the things people don't know. That is why our people must resign from the army. That is why everybody in the Middle Belt must resign from the army. That is why everybody from the West, Yoruba land, Ududua, must resign from the army. Because the more you are in the army, the more you are giving them credibility or this veneer of one Nigerian army, the more terrorists infiltrate the army and the more they are using the cloak or the cover of the army to land grab, to go to your villages and kill you. From T.Y. Danjuma, a supporter of one Nigeria, someone who has benefited so much that he has an oil well, he has his own oil well, he's a multi-billionaire, he's not doing anything with money. If anybody has any vested interest in the sustenance of the Zoological Republic, Danjuma should be one of them. But he is not happy anymore, because now that very lion they've been feeding, which is Fulani Janjaweedism, is now about to consume them. That was why he said the army of Buratai is not neutral and they collude. In the ethnic cleansing, even in the riverine states, they would not say Biafra, they say riverine. Are you listening? By Fulani headers. He insists, that is Danjuma, that villagers must defend themselves. So even our dragon flag we have raised, Britain is aware, the whole world is aware that we must defend ourselves. If you don't defend yourselves, you will be swallowed alive, you will be killed, you will be emasculated, your villages will be sacked, your communities decimated, your land taken over, and those of you who are lucky to survive, or should I say unfortunate to survive, you will become Islamized. Is here. You must defend yourselves, because depending on the armed forces will result in them dying. If you depend on Nigerian army to defend you, they are the terrorists themselves. You will die one by one. The ethnic cleansing must stop, according to this very letter to Commonwealth. I'm not sure they'll do anything. After all, Baron Scotland held the zoo will give her, if they used to give her £1 million before, they give her £5 million now. I know them, that's what they do. I know the man responsible for distributing the money. He is also a member of the House of Lords. When the time comes, I will give you complete revelation as to who these people are. I will name the consultancy firms they're using in London to bribe the lawmakers. So Fulani can slaughter all of you. You will not hear Boris Johnson condemn it. You will not hear the Foreign Office come out and say what is happening in Nigeria is wrong. They will never say it because money is pumping in. There is free oil, free gas. As long as free oil, free gas is coming, courtesy of Fulani presidency, they have no worries. All of you can die. Now listen. Continuation of this very letter. The state's failure to protect its citizens is a clear breach of its obligations under the Commonwealth Charter in respect of human rights. Now there is a wide acknowledgement that Nigerian army is not going to defend you. Instead, they will kill you, they will rape you, they will help the Fulani terrorists to take over your land. Are you listening? This is from white people that don't like Biafra. This is from white people that hate the notion of an Igbo man ever coming up in life. They don't like it. They don't want to hear it. Their hatred for Biafra is total. So anything that prompted them to say or write this is enormous. For parliamentarians in England to come up to write this, oh my goodness. That means that some of you don't even know what is going on the ground. These are people that they created Nigeria, they built it, they packaged it, they wanted it to have, should I say, undue influence in the affairs of Africa, so that Britain can control Africa through Nigeria. It's a very simple. They wrote it down. That was what, in the official documents that I have seen, Britain said, we want to build a huge country in Africa that can wield influence, and through them we can control the whole of Africa. Now you can imagine. We continue. They have failed. Now they conclude by saying there is now an urgent need to ensure adequate protection and aid for those suffering the loss of family members and the destruction of their homes and livelihood, and to end impunity by ensuring that complaints related to human rights violations are promptly, independently, and impartially investigated, and those responsible are held to account after their trials. No one was held to account. When IPOB was shouting and telling you what was coming, they brought Operation Python Dance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then our Dudwal friends and brethren, they were busy laughing and clapping. Some in the middle belt were busy laughing and clapping, as they used to say where we come from. They said that somebody to translate in English, please. Somebody should translate. Somebody should translate for the world to understand. Today, when IPOB was fighting Fulani Janjaweed, we were protesting, we were rallying, we were marching, telling you that death is coming. Some people in Yoruba land said, no, leave time, let's see, it is secessionist. Until Fashoranti's daughter was slaughtered by Fulani people. Until Fulani now occupy some forest in Yoruba land. Now their eyes opened. The middle belt were rejoicing after they were against Biafra, they were against everything to do with Biafra and freedom, until Miyet Yala got into their villages and their communities, raped their children, abducted them, dismembered them, slaughtered them, took over their land, renamed it. Then their eyes opened. That thing we saw many years ago, we are only now discovering. And I say good morning to all of you, and I welcome you with open arms. Now, we can join forces and fight this monster together. And the only thing that is making them to survive, the only thing that is sustaining this Fulani hegemony, is the stupidity of some of the Efulefus buried in all these ethnic groups, all of them. Some more than the other. I can assure you. Some more than the other, I can assure you. But we're going to deal with all of them. In conclusion, they wrote, we write therefore to ask whether you are able to respond on behalf of the Commonwealth and to raise these urgent concerns with the Commonwealth Ministerial Action Group. We will be very willing to meet in person or perhaps more practically online via Zoom to discuss how we might proceed. This, as I told you about Britain and the white people, if you remember, a long time ago as well. I said, no matter how bad they are, I told you about England. No matter how bad they are, they have conscience. One day they will rise up and say that what is happening is bad, and they have done it. That's one thing about them. I told you that's one thing I admire about them. No matter how bad they are, one day they will rise up and say enough is enough. That was how they ended slavery. People went to court and argued in England that slavery was inhuman and inhuman and inhumane. And they ended it. It's a country that, respects logic and reason. And now they have come to the conclusion that this cannot continue. They need a country or a nation exists to protect the people. When that state can no longer protect the people, that state loses or ceases to hold the legitimacy to be called a nation or a government. Do you understand it? If you cannot protect lives and properties, that state should not exist. That is why you have failed states. States that can no longer guarantee the safety or well-being of its citizens and their properties. That's all. Is it happening in the zoo? Is it because you hear the little ones that you hear because of social media? If not, you will hear nothing. The killings will continue, nobody will talk. Britain is getting oil and gas, so why bother? If America wants to decide, please, don't even go there. It's our territory, it's our area, we'll colonize that week. Britain says, what are you going to teach us about Nigeria? I remember once American diplomats were clamoring and saying that something needs to be done about Nigeria. I remember then I saw the dispatch. Britain said to them, why are you bothered about Nigeria? We created Nigeria. They did not create Nigeria. Those black people did not. We created them. Do you know them more than us? And America kept quiet. And there's a very valid point. That Nigeria, you have a name today answering Nigerian is because Britain created you. You didn't create yourself. Let us be honest about this. All these people telling you about being patriotic, one Nigeria. I'm asking you, did you create yourself? Nigeria is about to be 60 years old. Is that correct? They said it's 60 years anniversary of Nigeria. Is that not correct? 60 years. So how about your father that is older than 60? Who is he? Or who was he? These are the things that, because we are black people, our reasoning, our mental faculties, our reasoning process doesn't extend beyond 1960. Ask yourself this question. Those of you clamoring for one Nigeria, saying Nigeria has to be one, despite all these impunities as chronicled by British parliamentarians, are you telling me that something that was created, or should I say, came into formal existence in 1960 and has represented only misery? Nigeria has only meant misery, death, and ethnic cleansing, genocide. Can somebody name one good thing about this zoo in Nigeria? Nothing. Now, why are you sustaining it? That is the question any logical person will ask. When you're in a marriage that is not, that is no longer, should I say, serving your interest, you leave. Is that not correct? Everywhere in the world, the essence of having one Nigeria has been defeated. There is no need for it anymore. Let people go back to where they come from before the white man came. Because by allowing Nigeria to continue to exist, what you're doing to yourself is that you are denying your heritage, your culture, who you are, and your traditions. You are saying that you don't exist. You're handing over all you are, your essence, to the British. That's what it means. You are saying you are my creator. Britain, oh Lord God Britain, you are my creator. Anything you say we should do is what we are going to do because they created you. Remember that when God made the heavens and the earth, God gave Adam the power to name things. And God said to Adam, all these things you own. So name them. According to the scriptures. Adam started naming everything. So whoever gives you a name, own you. That is why when you're a child, when you're born, they ask your mom and your dad, well, what is this baby's name? They won't go to ask any other person, and your dad will give you a name, or your mom will give you a name, or they will jointly give you a name, and that is the name you're going to bear until you become an adult. If you don't like that name, you now do a deed poll and you change it, because you are now an adult. It's you at 60, still answering a name that nobody can actually stand up and defend. And you're telling me that you're matured. Of course you're not. Now, as always, it will take the intervention of white people to help us. It took white people to stop slavery. Blacks did not stop slavery. White people did. Britain promulgated a law banning slavery. In America, the same thing. Abraham Lincoln went to war to stop slavery. White people did something about it. All we do as black people is to lament, to complain. We never go the extra mile to put an end to what I call established injustice. It is now taking the intervention of white people in England, Baroness Cox, Lord Alton of Liverpool, Baroness Kennedy, Jim Shannon, Lord Williams, Lord Carey, Dr. Christopher Coxworth, Philip Mount Stevens, Lord Stoddart, Lord Anderson, Lord Cormac, Sir Geoffrey Nice, Ayo Adedoyin, Emilia Ochab, Melvin Thomas. In fact, do you know what I find astonishing here? At least there is an Oduduwa person here. Yoruba man's name is here. But we have Igbo, IGBO. I know that Honora, what's her name? Is it Kate Honora? She's answering from Newcastle. She's there, but she is not here. She has collected her own money from Nigeria. But at least Oduduwa is here. Ayo Adedoyin is here, who represents the International Organization for Peace and Social Justice. We have an Igbo woman in the House of Commons. I think it's Kate Honora. I stand to be corrected. She cannot join. She has collected her own money and gone to sleep as her village is being ravaged by Fulani terrorists. That is our people for you. That is how we are. It is taking white people, to come to Africa to save Africans from themselves. The same way that U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, the U.S. ambassador in Abuja, was the one white woman responsible for the first free and fair elections in living memory. One white woman, one single white woman. Now, whites are coming to save you. Tell me why they will not feel superior to you. Tell me why they will not feel that they own you. Because without their intervention, you cannot do anything. Whereas all it would have taken for us to change things in the zoo is Middle Belt, Ududuwa and Biafra rising up and saying enough is enough. Fulani will flee. Fulani will run away overnight. If we stand up tomorrow, before Sunday, Fulani will leave everybody alone. But they come to your village and they bribe you. They're from Munich, Yoruba Muslim Association, they give them some small change. They come to our land, they get the last of Athens, the last of that effort is the Koran, they give them some money, start talking rubbish. One Nigeria is our turn, we can salvage it. In fact, right now, funny enough, they no longer have anybody in the Middle Belt to go to, which is quite shocking. The people now yapping still the same old mantra, the same old rubbish are those from the west and from the east. The likes of Duro Noble, I think I read something, one rubbish they wrote about we are not for this specific from what? I asked them, I will look at it, seceding from what? When you hear fools talk about secession, seceding from what? From a country that is 60 years old? When my history tells me or teaches me that my land is over 5,000 years old, how can I say, how can you be in a house? You are in a house. And you say, the son will say, Dad, I'm seceding from you. You and your dad, it's your dad that will kick you out and say, you are over 18. Come on, go and look for somewhere to live. You come out and you say, Dad, I want to secede. Does that make any sense? 60-year-old nation, or should I say contraption? 60 years. How can I secede? I am older than Nigeria. How can I secede from it? My uncles are older than Nigeria. My mom was older than Nigeria before she passed on. My dad was older than Nigeria. How can I secede from something I'm older than? I don't know where the brain of black people travels to. Only God can answer that. I'm a mortal, I cannot. I want to know where the brain of black people, what informs their reasoning. Someone like Bruno Noble writing garbage, writing rubbish, absolute rubbish. He claims an intellectual. Secession. They want secessionist group. Seceding because Fulani gives you money. Fulani doesn't want anybody to leave because they are lazy. They cannot do anything apart from moving cattle from place to place. They need the revenue from oil and gas. It's common sense. Only if you're a fool will you not understand it. White people are coming to save you. As always. It's always the whites. End of slavery, white. It's always white people coming to save poor Africans. Always. And it's happening now and then. People without shame nor honor. This is something we can do ourselves. Rather than, let me tell T.Y. Benjamin something. This is the long way of doing it. All you people have started very well in the Middle Belt is to apologize for what you did wrong in the past. That's number one. And now you build credible alliance. Credible. The mistake that people make in Nigeria always is this. When ethnic nationalities want to build alliances, they go back to Fulani slaves. The people that Fulani put in power because they anticipated this time they knew was going to come. In order to preempt any outcome that will disfavor them or might appear unfavorable to their interest, they give you leaders. So if you come to Biafra land and you want to come and cut a deal as to how to deal with the Fulani people, and you have an award and you have Edwin Clark, these are their slaves, you're not going anywhere. I'm sorry to say, you're not going anywhere, you're not going to achieve your aim, you are not going to succeed. Now, what we need to do, or what people need to do, is to look for people of like minds. That is how to defeat Fulani. If you come and you're looking for the same people that are responsible for placing us where we are today, you will not make any progress. None whatsoever. Go and try and see. That is why Danjuma ran to white people to go and complain to them. Because we know as blacks, only whites can do something about our plight. How very shameful. How very shameful. That is the letter to Commonwealth, and I do pray and hope that Baroness Scotland does, look at it. She should I say, jettison every other financial consideration and give her fullest attention to this very letter. And then you see this will change, because they understand that there's only one solution. The only solution is division. They know it. As long as you are with Fulani must always try to take you over. This is something that fools will need to understand in this world in time to come. Once you're with them, one day, if they don't do it, their children will do it. What they think they're executing today was planned nearly 200 years ago by Ottoman Danfodio. So all of you, one Nigeria, we want to be one Nigeria. I am telling you that you are signing your death warrant. You are placing your community in jeopardy. When Azikiwe was running around talking about one Nigeria, Azikiwe never knew a time would come when there will be Operation Python Dance. A time would come when girls will be raped in Uli and cut into pieces and nothing will happen. He never knew that a time will come when Ebonyi State, when will be struggling with Mieti Alliance, who owns Ebonyi State. He never knew that a time would come when Fulani Janjaweed will impose a governor in Imo State. He never knew. He was fighting for one Nigeria, one big Nigeria, Pan-Africanism and all that garbage. He never knew, or he was unable to fathom the consequences. And here we are. This generation is now living with those consequences, trying to correct it, and it's very expensive and it's very costly. These are the things you ought to know. Anytime you see any idiot, any fool, regardless of his or her presumed education or degree of enlightenment or exposure, I am telling you that person is a compound idiot. I will challenge any non-entity to debate me anytime, any day, as I keep telling you, if you last, God in heaven is my witness. If you debate me and you last for 2 minutes in that very debate, I will know that I shouldn't be doing Biafra or agitating for Biafra. Nigeria is 60 years old. How old is your grandfather? Most of you listening, how old is your grandfather? Now, ask yourself this: what was your grandfather's country before Nigeria came into existence? And that is how I always start, and they run away. That is before you come, I won't even let you to get to all that nonsense about I am in Nigeria, patriotism and all that garbage. I ask you one simple question: how old is Nigeria? You tell me. Then I used to debate with my friends. They said, Nigeria is 40 this year. Over 20 years ago. I say, okay, how old is your mom? Your mom is 45. So what was the nationality of your mother before Nigeria came into existence? And they start scratching their heads. But it is God and all the rest of it. I said, if it is God, then why do you answer Nigeria? Why is your name Nigeria? Why is it not that thing that your ancestors answered before the white man came? To truly reflect that your land came about as a result of fusion of common value system, which is what determines if a country should stand or not. Common value system, and they know it. But the thing in this is that none of their professors will ever delve into it. Never, never. And you see these zoo animals, they will scurry away with their tail between their back legs. Useless people that didn't go to school. They think that having degrees means you are educated. Of course you are not. Who created Nigeria? A man and a woman, mortal flesh. And I ask you, who created Russia? You can't tell me. Who created Japan? You can never tell me. Who created Korea? Nobody can, only in Africa. Can you name a human being as being responsible for the creation of other human beings? What an utter abomination before God and before man. If you are strong in this zoo, you come and debate us. At the time that this letter was being written, because in this letter they mentioned Boko Haram, they mentioned Fulani headsmen, they mentioned Islamic terrorist groups. At the time of this letter, none of you knew that there's a new kid on the block, a new Fulani terrorist group on the block. And there was a video. Please try and send it to some of you. Should exchange it. I want it to appear on my page. Chinas, and make that very video available. There is a video of Boko Haram, Fulani terrorists playing in their villages. They packed their cars and the AK-47 playing. Nobody came to bomb them. Nobody came to raid them. Nobody came to shoot at them. Nobody. I want that video published now. Look for it and put it on my page. As at the time they were writing this letter, little did they know that a new group is coming, another Fulani group. Another Fulani group. They deceive all of you with their usual mumbo-jumbo, their usual garbage, and you fall for it. Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, we don't fall for such garbage because our reasoning faculties are intact. Our brain is intact. Every day we analyze, every day we compute, every blessed day we are going through their intentions and their motives line by line. Some of you go to sleep. You eat and you go to sleep. You watch useless Big Brother and you go to sleep. We don't sleep. We are awake every blessed day analyzing the intentions of the enemy, because some of you are blind spiritually, physically, morally, intellectually. You are all blind in the zoo. That is why someone that is 60 years old is trying to arrogate power to himself over and above something that is over 5,000 years old. And you want white man that created Nigeria to respect you? You want white people to look at you as an African, as their equal? When you abandoned thousands of years of history to embrace something that is so plastic and so artificial is not even worth remembering. If you don't learn here, you'll never learn anywhere else in your life. This is the finest university on the face of the planet. As long as you're a black African or a black person with black origin, you can trace your origin to Africa. Radio Biafra, this gospel we preach is the finest thing to ever happen to you in your life. Is it a coincidence that are now naming all of them who are Igbo? That the governor of Cross River State is now saying he's Igbo. Do you know what goes into what we preach? Do you understand the effect it's having on people all over the world? Military will get rid of Darul Salam terrorist tomb from defense. How many of you know there's a new terrorist group from Fulani people called Darul Salam? How many of you, I'm asking you, you idiots, you busy watching Big Brother. I cannot understand these people. How many of you know there is a new kid on the block, a new terror group funded by Fulani people on the block? The name is Darul Salam. Do you hear Premium Times writing about them? Do you read from Daily Trust about this deadly group? No. It is this idiot in Encha, whatever they call him, is from defense headquarters, their spokesman. He was sacked before they brought him back to give that sort of middle belt coloration. The middle belt is not. That's why they put the idiot that is talking rubbish. Military will get rid of Darul Salam terrorist too. So they're a terrorist group from defense headquarters, and nobody's shooting at them. We don't know who their leader is. We don't know who their proscribed leader is. Zoological Republic. I'll read it for you very briefly. The defense headquarters has said the military will soon get rid of Darul Salam terrorist group in the country. The coordinator of defense media operations, he's not a coordinator. You know, they love copying IPOB so much. Anything we do, they copy. That was how they named, they accidentally named the Sibajo ones as a coordinator because we are on air every blessed day, appointing coordinators all over the world. They didn't know the time it infected their brain and they started appointing coordinators. Even now, even in the army, they have a coordinator of defense and media operations. Have you ever touched rubbish before? Only in this room. His name is Major General John Enenche. He said this while fielding questions from journalists while giving updates on the operations of the armed forces on Friday in Abuja. Enenche noted that the military was working with all stakeholders to put an end to the operations of the group in northern part of the country. In northern part of the country, northern part of Nigeria, a terrorist group called Darul Salam. Are you aware of that? Imagine that in the east, in Biafra land, there are 7 terrorist groups. By now, Britain will supply every known attack helicopter and fighter jet. They will bomb us to the kingdom come. Double standards. But you can see it. You can see it with your 2 naked eyes. Fulani, they have Boko Haram. ISIS in West Africa. Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb. Miyet Yala. Fulani bandits. They are different because Miyet Yala is Fulani headsmen. Then you have Fulani bandits. You have the one called Ansaru. Now you have the one called Darul Salam. 7 terrorist groups from one tiny ethnic group. One tiny, because they have spent years looting and stealing money. Yes, planting themselves in the military with the support of the British. The same Britain that is now crying. Because once the zoo implodes, Britain and Europe will receive nothing less than 40 million refugees. 40 million! That is why they don't want to open their borders to you. That is why they have suspended all visa for some of you zoo animals. Because they know the zoo is going to collapse. They don't want you in their country because if you're in their country and the zoo collapses, you can seek asylum and you can stay there forever. Now you understand. Here we give you information that you will pay very dearly to receive from any other source. It's free of charge here on this very platform. Blessed by heaven, of course. There is a new terrorist group. So I am advising the parliamentarians that wrote to the Commonwealth Secretary General to please revise their letter and add also Darul Salam. All you hear is that we have no state of emergency. That prostitute in Asorok, that idiot with bleaching cream, very soon her face will burn. Loretta Onochie, supplying Edo girls to her clients in Italy. That idiot talking about state of emergency in the east, in Biafra land. Whereas there are 7 terrorist groups from Fulani, from Sokoto, from Katsina, from Kebbi. No state of emergency, no. But it's in the east. That is the day people will hear her story. I'm telling you the truth. And it won't be pleasant. I'm telling you. It won't be. The defense headquarters was determined to deploy both kinetic and non-kinetic kinetic and non-kinetic means to rid the nation of the group and other forms of criminal elements. Kinetic and non-kinetic. But in Biafra, it is tanks, AK-47, go to MNA and shoot people. Go to Aba, you abduct. Go to Asa, you abduct, you kill. Wherever you go to Obibo, go and you kill. Anything, anybody you see, you shoot. Not a single terror group, not one. But where you have 7. The funny thing is that the people with 7 terrorist groups who are funding them are the ones telling other people that they are coming to their land to declare state of emergency. Can you believe such rubbish? These are the consequences of weak leadership. I don't blame them. I blame those that claim they are the helm of affairs, those who claim they are the helm of power. You must continue. This is a new group, and you wonder what on earth the Nigerian army and police and DSS have been doing. DSS is meant to be a secret, intelligence gathering to preempt these things and to stop them from happening. But they are there. They're in Enugu looking for who to abduct. DSS are in Awas are looking for who to abduct. But in the north, where they should be focusing all their resources and energy and attention, they abandoned it. They came to the south to look for who to abduct. Secret Service, DSS. They are there. All they are now doing is to raid the homes of people, of unarmed civilians in Biafra land. That's what they're doing. Whereas in the north, the money, the budget they get is to stop these terrorist groups from emerging. Have they done it? The answer is no. They're busy chasing Biafrans. Against the backdrop of the relatively successful elections, which I'm going to reference this to, always relying on white people to help us, we black Africans. Anybody telling you that they somehow made elections to be fair is a liar, is a usurper. Only one person on this earth can take credit for Edo elections. Only one person, the US ambassador, no other human being. I heard the Edo people, we want to thank the president for free. In fact, their manufactured goods don't exist. That's what they do. Brown envelope journalism. 4,600. I think the money has come down now. 4,600. Anything you want, they write for you. Some groups in Edo congratulate Buhari. Which Buhari? The one that you can see or the one you cannot see. We are coming to that later on, because I think Simon Ekpa did a very good job on the analysis of the video of the idiot addressing you and recorded video. Have you heard of such rubbish before? We'll get to that later on. Against the backdrop of the relatively successful elections, which the US ambassador is solely responsible for and no other person, Obasanjo has said what I've been saying all along, that only foreigners can solve your problems. Only foreigners. As always, only foreigners. When you're crying abroad, you run to even ANC. Do you know how apartheid collapsed? Do you think it's blacks in South Africa? Of course it's not. It is the worldwide coalition that ANC built and goodwill of white people all over the world that saw the end of apartheid in South Africa. Are you listening to me? It wasn't blacks in South Africa that ended apartheid. Apartheid was ended by white consciousness all over the world, by sanctions, by white countries. For your information, I'm not taking anything away from Mandela, of course. He's my hero till tomorrow morning. A great man indeed. A great man of history, no doubt about that. I could say that his tenacity and determination and doggedness made it possible for the world to eventually see the horrors of apartheid and walk speedily towards its end. These are the things you must understand. Now listen please. Obasanjo said, why do you have to rely on foreigners to solve your problems, these black people? This is what I have been saying for years, that it will take the intervention of white people to correct the ills in the European colonial cages, I call them. we call countries in Africa. They are just colonial cages that they built, arbitrary boundaries everywhere. They give you a name, you start answering, they give you a flag, you start jumping up and down. You see a few gluttonous, corrupt idiots, they start jumping, traveling to Paris, traveling to London, traveling to all over the place. Now it's Dubai, is their favorite hunt, is not Dubai. Black man, this usually black. Obasanjo is saying, why are you relying on whites to solve your problems? American ambassador, they sent only a few days ago. American ambassador, one white woman in Abuja, one white woman delivered your first free and fair elections in living memory from her office in Abuja. She just wrote something. If you rig elections, you will not enter USA. We will deny you visa. And she wrote a few names of some people that are corrupt, and that's all. One single white woman in an office in Abuja managed to deliver something that 200 million people couldn't do. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But what I would say is that it was the Europeans that built the mess this zoo is in. So maybe it's only Britain that can fix it. Who knows? Do you know what Obasanjo said? Obasanjo said, there is a problem when foreigners are the ones fighting for a better Nigeria, making reference to the letters that the parliamentarians wrote. There is a problem. Now foreigners are the ones fighting for a better Nigeria. Foreigners are the ones fighting for you not to be killed in your farms in the Middle Belt. Foreigners are the ones now writing and saying that army and police should stop killing people in Biafra land. Foreigners, white people. That's what Obasanjo is saying. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said that Nigeria is not where it should be due to leadership failure. Of course, he was one of them. Leadership failure. Every year they blame their leaders as if their leaders were thrown down from heaven. No, or from hell, as the case may be, considering how awful they are. These leaders came from the people. And Obasanjo will be shocked that an average Nigerian, an average Nigerian is worse than the leader. An average Nigerian is a bundle of idiocy, is worse than their leader. Give an opportunity now. Ask them to go to House of Assembly. Are they not the same people in Nimo's House of Assembly that said that you can give powers to governor to detain people at his pleasure? As a king Hopus at the of Imo State. They are worse. It is not a crisis of failure of leadership. The problem with black people, especially and exemplified by the zoo, is lack of ability to reason. The people are not reasonable because where people are reasonable, you cannot have bad leadership. If a bad leader emerges, they remove the bad leader. Bad leadership endure where people are themselves foolish. Are you telling me that white people did not have bad leaders? Of course they did. They overthrew their monarchies. That said that they are God, that God sent them. They killed all of them in Europe. Now Europe saw the light. So that is why there is a popular saying in England when I was going to school that people deserve the leadership they get. Because if you don't like that leadership, you remove it either through the ballot box or through revolution. If you cannot do either of both, then you live with the consequences of it. That is something that blacks don't know. That is how life is. Obasanjo said over the weekend they gave him another leadership award, 60th birthday retirement of one church somewhere in Abeokuta. He said it is unfortunate that foreign nations now feel the need to intervene on issues that can ordinarily be addressed without external intervention. Very simple. White people are coming to save the niggers that they created in Africa. You as a black man, you are not even ashamed of yourself. And the Fulani has no shame. You know, when somebody has upset, when you have no shame, it is difficult to shame you. They have no shame. That is why white people are coming to fix a mess that they created. 7 terrorist groups. They have run the most nepotistic government in history. Everything is Fulani in broad daylight. All of you, if you complain too much, they bring one of you and make you the DG of Ministry of Employment, and you're jumping up and down. We have gotten our own. That is how awful your reasoning and thought process is. And I won't fail to remind you of that every blessed day. That I can assure you. Obasanjo now knows white people are coming to save black niggers in Africa. Very, very sad indeed. This is the reason why everybody must sit at home on the 1st of October. Now, you see, people are very, very strange. You complain, Nigeria is no good, no light, no good road, SARS everywhere, killing people, army killing people without, nobody even knows who's an army personnel or a terrorist anymore because they all wear the khaki uniform of the Nigerian army. You all know this, don't you? You know that your healthcare system is awful. You know that people died as a result of COVID-19 starvation because they had no means or any ways to try and access food. You know that very well. You know all these ills. Now ask yourself, what are you going to do about it? It's a very simple question. Look at why people are concerned about you. Ask yourself, as a black Nigerian, somebody who is in the zoo, nigger. Now tell me, what are you going to do about it? There is something you can do. And it's not going to cost you anything. 1st of October is round the corner. You are angry, you are upset. There is no need for you to be in your house or in your office getting angry and getting upset. Do something about it. Do something very legal. Do something that nobody, none of these Fulani military formations can come after you. It's very simple. Sit at home on the 1st of October. Right across the entire Zoological Republic. Sit at home, don't go anywhere. Keep your children indoors, no marching. Keep everywhere, keep off the streets. To at least let the world compliment what the British parliamentarians are doing. They are fighting for you. Compliment what Trump and his team are doing. At least they are fighting for you. At least show them, you are a drowning man or drowning woman. At least raise your hand up so that somebody can pull you out because you're drowning already. The only thing you can do is to raise your hand up so that somebody can grab it and pull you out. That thing you can do, metaphorically, on the 1st of October. You sit at home, don't go anywhere. The world, the diplomats in Abuja will ask them, can't you see your people are upset? That is one simple thing you can do. And that is why we are asking people to sit at home. You must sit at home. And I want to let you understand something the way that the Fulani Janjaweed papers are reporting it, especially the Premium Times. This very statement was issued today, if I'm not mistaken. And Premium Times, which is the Janjaweed, the Fulani newspaper, they carried it. You know what they said? I will read it for you so you can all understand the mess that the zoo is in, the brain of a black man, a black journalist. I want to get into their brain to understand how they reason. They said, IPOB declares it at home for October 1st. Of course we have. IPOB said its members will join it, not its members. IPOB is a nation. It is called Indigenous People of Biafra. There may be some Efulefus you have bribed, some idiotic pastors you've given money to, some idiots find themselves and realize that Mietiala has bought land from. They are in a inconsequential and insignificant minority. We are the people and we own the land that we occupy. IPOB said its members will join its Yoruba counterparts agitating for the Republic in public protest to match it. Of course we will. IPOB will come out all over the world. We are COVID-19 permitting, of course, restrictions in those countries to protest that the zoo is falling. And we shall do so happily and gladly with our Oduduwa counterparts. Of course we will. Because now, as I wrote earlier on my page, I now believe that a credible Yoruba self-determination leadership is now beginning to emerge. I said credible. Those that will not fail us tomorrow, they are now beginning to emerge. And we must warn very clearly. If anybody is thinking that they can use Oduduwa agitation at the last minute, they will say, okay, Tinubu, people are agitating in the east, people are agitating in the west. Let us give it to Tinubu so that agitation in the east can die down, or at least in the west can collapse. Then they are mistaken. Because my Yoruba brethren must know this. This is the final bus stop. If in any way this agitation for Oduduwa independence collapses because of Tinubu presidency, you know that the world will never ever believe you again forever and ever. You must understand that. Everybody must know that. That is why we say IPOB, we are not going back until everybody is set free. And we mean it. We are going to come out on the 1st all over the world to join our Ududua brethren in letting the world understand that the zoo has no hope. But we don't want to hear tomorrow that they have given Tinubu presidency and then you slacken and you change. We don't want that. I'm saying it so that the whole world can hear what I'm saying. Very, very important, please. I will go on to describe how this useless Jews were reported it. They said, proscribed secessionist group. That's how they describe us. Proscribed. So if that one doesn't get you, secessionist would. Is a Fulani man writing. Secessionist group. Indigenous people of Biafra has declared October 1st sit at home across the southeast. No. We said across Middle Belt. Also in Oduduwa territory, Yoruba land, and the whole of Biafra land. This nonsensical reporting every time Southeast, every time Igbo. Have you been to Igoromigoro land to see the wave IPOB is making? Have you been to Izon? Have you been to Bayelsa to see how many IPOB families there are? Have you been to Cross River State to see how many IPOB families there are? Have you been to Akwa Ibom State to see how formidable IPOB is on the ground? People, you see, that is one thing about zoo journalists that never investigate. They just write junk as you give them. Southeast, is that what the statement said? The statement said everywhere, including Middle Belt. So rather than T.Y. Danjuma complaining, now that they have left Arewa Consultative Forum, now that Middle Belt is standing on its own, 1st of October, you can send a clear message to the whole world. And after this very statement today, from tomorrow, you see they'll start distributing their money as usual, traditional rulers. All the compromised social cultural organizations, they start moving their money to Ohanese, giving them money, they'll start talking rubbish. That's what they do. But the essence is this: we are live on air every blessed day, driving home the truth, which is this very narrative that if we all stand up, ordinary 1st of October, if you want Fulani Janja Buddhism to stop in your village, ordinary 1st of October, lock up your businesses, stay at home, you see what will happen. Simple thing you can do. You don't need a white person to do it for you. You don't need a white woman to come and save you. You can save yourself. You are human beings and you have brain in your skull. Do something. Register a protest. Say, I am not happy with what is happening. Sit at home. I did not say Biafra land. I said Oduduwa land. I said Middle Belt. Sit at home. Because at the same time, all over the world, we, IPOB and Oduduwa, will be joining together to go and protest, to let the world know. Now when they come, they will say it is no longer Biafra. Now they will remember Ojukwu. They will say, but Ojukwu said something similar before, in 1966 and 67. How come? Oh, even now. So the agitation is no longer about the East, it's now also the West. Because people have now seen what we have seen. And let me also use this opportunity to ask every Middle Belt forum in the diaspora to come out as well and join us on the 1st of October. All over the world. In Nigeria, we are going to sit at home, but all over the world, we are going to come out. I want Middle Belt to come out with their own banner. Come out with your flag. Oduduwa will